Right, I think everything's working again. Hello. Hello, everyone. You're right. Yeah, so, my computer crashed. Yeah, I think everything's fine. It says everything's working, so hopefully it will keep doing that. If not, then we're kind of fucked, aren't we? So, yeah, I think I'm good to go now. Right. Hello, chat. Hello, everyone. That was the best 13 minutes of our lives. I really hope that just runs immediately into the previous stream. If that makes 2 separate streams out of that, that's going to be a bit irritating. Nobody wants to watch 13 minutes, 5 of which I'm not actually doing anything. So, but I'm back in now, it's fine. Somebody is very echoey today. Oh, oh, oh! Oh, oh, over. Oh! Oh! That would have been a beautiful goal. To Max. There you go. Along the boards. Beautiful play. Right, I'm going to set up a screen. Okay, maybe not. I'm not going to set up a screen. I'm not going to set up a screen. I'm going to get on sad.
What is happening? I can't pass. I can't do anything.
You might be lagging. I don't know. Right.
I got serious.
Go!
I'm back on.
There you go. Strike. Back to me. Lovely. Lovely play. And strike to you again. Oh, damn it. Oh, good shot. Oh, nice. Third opportunity there. Beautiful.
Wow.
Right. The London Lions. I love it. Love their logo. Beautiful. 10 out of 10. Okay, I'm now back in this game. That means I can take some face-offs. And I just did it too early. But I still won the face-off. What an idiot.
You actually won 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
When you were gone.
Seriously? Damn. Oh, over. Oh, just too slow. My bad. Oh. That's not gonna count. No. It's not gonna count. It should, but it's not going to.
He kicked them afterwards.
Yeah, there you go.
It should work.
It was behind him.
Right, let's see what they say. Nah, it's a no goal. It's a no goal, unfortunately.
Oh well.
I think it's quite racist. You know, because we're British
Nationalist.
and he's not. Nice. Oh, okay, strike. That was a good play, but then he kind of lost it. Oh, that's a nice pass. Pass on the line. Pass on the line. Oh, no. Oh, decent try. Decent try, lads. Decent try. Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting that pass. Oh, hello.
I'm offside.
Doesn't matter. We'll take the face off. Right. Nice go. Hey, Donald. You're right, mate. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Wow, I've won 7 of 8 face-offs. This guy sucks. I've been AFK for a fucking period, and I'm still beating him in the face-off dot. What a noob. Come on, gents. Oh, that was a nice deke. He made you look pretty silly. I'm there for the rebound. I'm there for the rebound. Oh.
Oh, I was looking for the pass across.
No worries. It's alright. It's alright. Oh, it's mine. That was a bad play. I could have got done for a tripping play. Oh, that was a laser beam across the other side. Which one am I? Oh, I'm this one again. My bad. I don't know why I keep forgetting which colour I am. I always play red. So, like, well, why do I get so confused? That's good. Nice one. Come on. Oh, that's a dodgy pass there. That's a New York Rangers defense pass right there. Let's go, let's go. But they have won 2 straight games, so maybe there is a chance. Icing. Oh, I wanted to hit him. 7:28 left in the second. So, when it crashed, everybody watching the stream, you didn't miss much, apparently. I wasn't really paying attention, and I've won a shit ton of face-offs. And nobody scored a goal on either team. So, there's that. Come on, strike. Move that puck. There you go, son. Oh, that's a nice pass. Ooh. The forecheck! The forecheck! Oh, yeah. Whee! I asked for butts for my birthday. That's perfect. That is the best sign I've ever seen in this game.
That's why you have that.
Yep. All for a split-second joke. Perfect. I planned that down to a T. Right. Quite glad I scored that goal. It's quite an easy one, actually. Oh! Oh! And another one!
Another one?
London is the best. We love those butts. Beautiful. See, I come back, scored a pair of goals. From shot and strike. Beaut. Beaut. And win that face-off. I'm just a king in the dot today. When it said hockey fans of the UK, I was expecting them to be decent. Oh, and the hat-trick. Beautiful pass. Ha ha ha. Nice.
Very nice.
I've scored a hat-trick in like 2 minutes. God. See, get another view of that sign. London is the best. You're damn right it is. And win that face-off again. It's getting a bit too easy now, isn't it? just having a chance. Why not? Why not? Oh, fortune. Ah, yes. One of the key ways to score in this game. Oh, come on, boys. Come on, lads. Oh, good save by the goalie. Oh, that was a decent pass. I was expecting that to go to Max, but it doesn't matter. Don't worry, we're 3-0 up. It's not a problem. It's not a problem, gents. Oh. Send that puck out. I ain't wasting any time. There you go. Breakout pass. I'll kill him if I have to. I'll kill him if I have to. No, okay. I was going to go proper Marty McSorley on him. Nice play. Nice play. Over. Nice. Oh. Damn, son. Where'd you get that?
There it goes.
Oh! Oh! So close.
Oh.
Yes, some dude. I am the hat-trick hero. You're damn right I am. So, yeah, at the end of the second, it's a hat-trick from me and assists from you guys, and we're 3-0 up, just like that. Well, there you go.
Easy peasy.
Right, looks like we're going up to Division 8, folks. Damn, son. I mean, that should have been a goal.
Yeah, that's a goal.
And then boosh. On the weak-handedness as well. NHL fans in the UK, more like NHL losers in the UK. I love how my overall stat is F, even though I've scored a fucking hat-trick. Like, game, come on. I'm not that bad. Just because I had to go AFK for ages because my computer decided to have a spasm, like, it's not my fault. Three goals in 2 minutes. Yeah, some dude, you're right. If anybody's watching the stream, I'm only getting a few people's comments. If that's like because they're the only people saying stuff, that's fine. But if not, try and refresh the stream if you haven't already. Because if you're posting stuff, I can't see it. Oh, we actually won a face-off. Hallelujah. Oh, that's a nice poke check. Beautiful. Oh, flashes that glove. Right, good. 1920 left in the game. The year was 1920. And that face-off win. Ute. Oh. Good try, why not? Take advantage of those angles. Or those angels. Oh, Rogers.
Oh.
Lovely. Okay, I didn't want this right now. There you go. You're off to the races, son. Oh, the spinner-armor. Hey, shots. Are you right, mate? How's it going, bud? Hut later. No, I'm not playing any Hut today, buddy. I am playing EASHL. Oh, I'm in. Ah! Damn it. Your player name cracks me up. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad somebody appreciates the poor humour that I provide to this game. Seymour Butts. I mean, he's a hat-trick hero this game, so laugh at his name all you want. He's a legitimate player. Owner of the franchise, star player for the franchise. He's just a king, really. He likes butts as well. He likes to see more of them as well. Did you get it? Because his name's Seymour Butts. Poor jokes by Odd Man Rush. Oh, careful. Nice pass. Lally! Oh, The goalie actually made a save. Oh, that's a power play. Nice. Off you go, Lloyd. See you later, punk. Just because, don't hate us because you ain't us. Right, I'm going to win this face-off, I promise. Okay, I didn't win it. The one thing I promised to do. Oh! Why is the goalie doing that far out? Jesus!
All the way to the left, and he still catches it.
Wow. Hashtag ice tilt. See more butts! See more butts! The man! That was a proper Datsukian steal right there. Love it. Right, I need to win this face-off, and I've done it too early again. God damn it! Why do I suck so bad? Oh, careful. Ah, I thought I'd get the poke check in there. Don't let them score. I want a shutout. We get more experience that way. Oh, that's a nice play. That was a nice play. Okay, okay. Trying to stay on side as long as I could. Let's go! And... Oi, straight. Wanted that puck. Go on, D. Love it, love it. Oh, oh! I love how he dives after every single play as well. That's so funny. He's like, oh, I've got it. Ah, dive again. Nice. What am I doing? Damn you, lag. Oh, come on. Hustle. Over. Oh, I passed it, you knob. So close. So close. Could have added a fourth. Considering we're playing people in the UK, like, the connection's really bad. Nice play. Nice play, gents. Nice play. No, nice play, gents. Nice play. I forgot. Oh, that is a pass. That is a pass.
Oh, come on.
Take a hit to make a play, gents. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, did that go off the crossbar?
Yes, it did.
Damn it! Oh, oh, strike. I wanted that. Oh my god. Like, if these AI weren't so bad at shooting wide on the net, like, we would have about 6 goals by now. Because the goaltender's just leaving it so open. Okay, I passed that puck. Thanks, lag. He's in on a breakaway. He's in on a breakaway. Yeah, I didn't expect him to score. That's how cocky I'm getting here. To green. There you go, son. I'm getting huge lag in this game. Oh my god, shoot the puck, you arse! Okay, got it again. Oh, damn it. Oh, and again.
There's no reason to be there's no reason to be saving you half of this.
And again. There you go. Laggy goal right there. 4 goals for Seymour Butts. God damn, are we dropping frames here? No, so we're not dropping frames, so the stream's okay. Ask for butts for my birthday. Love it. That woman, I'm gonna like make her sign a permanent fixture at this arena because I think it's just perfect. Like, she asked for butts for her birthday, and I don't think you can ask for anything better, if I'm honest. Go on, Matt.
Nice.
That was full on, just like let him do. Like as I said, he always has to dive after the play's been made. So why not? Why not? Oh shit, I'm the one taking the face off, aren't I? I thought I was on the wing. What am I doing? Oh, that is a goal!
Wow.
Get me that assist.
That was a 10-hole.
Nice. That's like a bloody Scott Darling goal there. Bloody hell, he's awful at keeping the puck out. Hey, I got an assist as well. That's what I needed. Oh, well, I wanted that. Oh, he's coming out. He wants to fight. Come on, I want my 5th goal. No, actually, I've got to be selfless here. Come on, I've already scored a hat-trick. Goalie. Goalie. So people in the stream, is the game lagging, by the way? Is the stream lagging? Because there's a difference. I just want to make sure that everything's fine. Yeah, send it right on goal. Oh my god, why did I do that? Why did I do that? I take full responsibility for that. What a tit I am. See, now their team was asking for butts for their birthday. Like, with bloody mistakes like that. Oh, that's a nice pass. Hey, goalie. You suck.
Oh, 3-on-1.
You suck. Goal. Oh, how did I miss that wide? God damn it. Oh, oh. I wouldn't mind if they got another goal, because then at least I wouldn't feel guilty about breaking the shutout.
Oh.
Yeah, as a tripping penalty.
Heavy, yeah.
So, I think we need our 7th goal. I think we're on it. And I can't even win the bloody face-off. Ah, it's because I was against AI this time, that's why. Oh, bloody hell. Talk about throwing that in a dangerous area. I'm coming for you, son. Bloody lag. I would have got him right away. Okay, who's got the puck? Oh, we got it. Nice. Stripe, send it up, son. Lally. And I'm going to go for a low pad rebound. Okay, the lag happened again. Sorry, guys. And as the game comes to a close, it is victory. It is sweet victory.
Nice.
Nice job, gents.
Good win.
Beautiful.
Nice. So, win bonus. That's pretty good. Oh, this is player progression. Completion bonus. Another 100 experience. 25 goals for the team. Nice. 3 hat tricks. Gah, I'm just a king. 50 takeaways. Beaut. Nice. So, I have unlocked another celebration, which I won't use. Some gloves that I won't use. And another celebration that I won't use. Right, perfect. And then for the team, this is the most important bit. Receive that data game. Win bonus, 200 experience. Nice. Completion bonus, 150 experience. 50 goals for the team, 100 experience. And that looks like it's it. And we are going to Division 8. Huzzah. Not too shabby. So, on the night, I had, what, 4 points? 5 points. I had 4... Oh, yeah, I had 4 goals. Jeez.
5 points. 5 or 6?
I had 5, you had
goals,
5, and Liquidy had 2. Dude, step it up. Alright, advance.
Yes, sir.
Like, you want to stay on this team? Come on, man. Seymour Butts, 4 goals and an assist. 0 hits, I'm a hitting sniper. I'm an embarrassment. Wow, they had 24 hits on the game. Jesus. That is pretty impressive. So yeah, hello stream chat. Is everything in the stream working now, by the way? Let me just check if there's anybody else that has sent an invite to the club or whatever. Because we've got a fair amount of members here at the moment in the club. We have how many members do we actually have? Club members. Let's count them all up. So we have 1, 2, 3, 13 members. I'm quite impressed with that. Thanks, guys. That's an unlucky number. Ah, who cares? Oh no, wait, so... Oh, of course. I'm an idiot. Of course we have the chance to get the Division 9 title. Because you get 2... You can get a possible...
Yeah, I thought we had 1 more game in this one.
Yeah, I'm just an idiot. Oh, wow.
Even if this one just goes to overtime. We'll
Yeah. I should have known that. But I'm an idiot, so I didn't. Oh, Odd Man Rush, you silly ass. So we're 8-11-0 in our career. Not too shabby, not too shabby. I think it's just the 3 of us again for now. Not a problem. It's 7:30 here in the evening in the UK. I've got myself a Pepsi Max Cherry. Damn, son. It's alright, actually. But the thing is with Pepsi Max Cherry, or like any like extra flavoured Pepsi Max stuff, you kind of get bored of the taste like after the first few cans that you've had of it. Like, I mean, I only have like 1 can in a day, like max. Like, I'm not like sitting there chugging them like it's a fucking frat party or something. But like, the cherry taste is nice when you have the first one. It's decent when you have the second one. It's passable when you have the third one. And then it's just kind of a bit crap by the time you're on the 4th or 5th. This is my first one in a while, so I'm riding high at the moment. It's alright. That's just a bit of a pointless Pepsi facts for you. Andy, hey buddy, welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Love the channel. Me too. This channel's great. Big fan. Me too. Well, thanks. Really appreciate it. Morgan, how you doing, son? Nice to see you. I can come on after your game. Sweet. Sounds good. Sounds like a plan. Let's get a stacked roster here full of the world's best NHL 18 players. Because, I mean, I scored a hat-trick against an awful goalie, so I'm fantastic. So, I can join as well. Yes, Soviet, yes, you can join after this game as well. We'll have one more game, just the three of us. Just the three of us. And then, yeah, we'll get some of you guys in. I mean, it would be nice if this game could actually speed up a little bit. Are you still doing Beer Pro? No, haven't done them in ages, mate. Haven't done them since NHL 17. Ah, here we go. We're in a game. Oh, bad connection again, though. Bender IK. Love it. I love finding the stupid names. Of course, we're keeping our standard jersey. I just keep going hitting sniper because I seem to be scoring goals with it. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Alright, we're ready. We'll wait for them.
It works.
Are they 2 level 1s? Because it looks like they're 2 level 1s.
Yeah.
We're going to destroy these guys.
Apparently so. A forward and a defender as well.
Bitch, please. I'm level 13. So, now comes the segment of the stream called What's Odd Man Rush been up to in his life recently, because I know how much you guys enjoy this section. I started playing Doom recently, the Xbox One version of Doom. My god, that is a fun game. Jesus Christ, that is a lot of fun. Like, I haven't played... I bought it a little while ago. I bought it on Black Friday and hadn't actually started it until yesterday. God, that's a lot of fun. Like, I'd heard it was a very good game. And, yeah, it really is. And a pass to you. You get a pass. And you get... Ah, good try. Lockhart. Is that a human-controlled goalie? I don't think it is. No, it's not. Of course it isn't.
No.
Because they've got a centre and right defence, I believe. Hey, try winning some face-offs, noob. Lol. I'm getting arrogant because I scored a hat-trick last game. Alright, go, 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 go. Nice. Oh. Ah. Should have been there. Should have been there. Come on, Jet. Oh, is that Master Bates? Please say his name is Master Bates, and I will be a happy human being for the rest of my life. It's the little things, ladies and gents. Oh, and Max, I'll just give you a bit of that. Oh, that is a nice pass. Go on, son. Ah! Good try, boys. Good try. Where am I going with this? I take a look at the chat for 1 second and I'm skating down the ice with the puck. What is going on? Nice play. Low pad. Rebound! Oh! We're getting close, boys. We're getting close. I'm setting up for a screen. Why would you pass that? Why would you pass that, you fool? Oh.
No.
Oh.
And mine didn't count.
Well. Yeah, exactly. Like, what the fuck's that all about? Yes, you know why? It's because it was 1333. You know 1333? It's like the sign of the devil. The hockey devil, that is.
It needs to be them.
Right, because, I mean, that isn't a legitimate goal, is it? Win that face-off. Hey, I won that face-off just about. Thanks, Max. Whee! Go! Get the puck, AI. Do it. Thank you. Ah, I'm a hitting sniper. I will kill you if I must. Oh, I'm missing all these hits. I'm like bloody Chris Weidman when he hit that referee. Like, what's going on? And
he
pass the puck. Yeah, I think he did. Oh,
looking for you, Boo.
Oh,
there it is.
Right, I'm setting up in front of the net. Net front. Okay, maybe not. The one time I decide to do something decent offensively and set a net front presence, it all goes wrong. Nebula, is that how I say your name? Hey, buddy, welcome to the stream. Hey, Ben, you alright, mate? How's it going? And Josh LB, sup, bud? How's it going, guys? Hope you're all having a wonderful Friday night. This Friday night, it's 7:45, and we're playing some EASHL. That's my version of the song. It's on Spotify and iTunes now. Oi, son, give me that puck, you smelly sausage. Nice. One day, if my YouTube channel becomes big in the hockey scene, I want to leave my house one day and see somebody walking down the road with a Seymour Butts jersey. That's the dream. Not the subscribers, not the ad revenue, but to see somebody with a Seymour Butts jersey. Oh! Ouch! Go on, lads. Get me that assist. There you go, lads. Beaut. It's 2 PM. Oh, it's 2 PM in Canada.
Boom.
Is it 2 PM in Canada? Is it?
Yeah, that's about right. East Coast.
It could be.
Oh yeah, well, no, it's 2:45 there. That makes sense. Right, okay. I was going to say, like, surely it's more closer to 3 o'clock, because 5 hours behind. So any New York Rangers fans in the chat? Our team's a bit shit at the moment, isn't it?
Right here.
Oh, God.
This hope.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll make the playoffs, just. Like, if you want my, like, honest New York Rangers opinion, as a I like to think I'm a biased New York fan, but, like, I like to have a hint of realism there as well. That was a nice hit. I like to have a hint of realism in it as well. Shattenkirk's now out, but then again, his defensive skills were atrocious. Kreider's out, and we've missed him on the offense. Less so these last few games, but more so in general. We have Mark Stahl out, which isn't a huge loss. And we have... Who else is out? Kevin Hayes, which I'm not going to lie, Kevin Hayes has really irritated me this season. Like, he would be doing so much better if he actually just decided to shoot the puck for once in his life. It does my head in watching him go for the pass every single time. It's so frustrating.
Better than Jimmy.
Yeah. But, I'm quite glad that Rick Nash has started to heat up a little bit. Grabner has been our MVP, other than Lundqvist, like, without a doubt. Zuka's been too quiet for me. Like, he's usually a lot louder on the point sheet than he is this year. I think, like, because I think he's having a bit of a down year, and that might be part of the reason why the Rangers in general have had a bit of a down year. So, that's a shame. JT Miller's been decent, he's just not consistent enough at the moment. Zabinajad hasn't really been the same player since he came back from the injury, but he's starting to get there. Lundqvist has been an absolute beast the entire season. Like, there's a reason he's going to the All-Star game. If there's any teams you want me to talk about in the chat, let me know, and I'll have a quick chat. I know a relatively decent amount about most teams. I like to keep up to date. So, yeah. I'm Bondy. Hey, everybody, welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Ah, you're in Massachusetts. Nice. Hello from England. Oh, so that was a nice pass, and that's a trip. Oh, it's a penalty shot. Go on, son.
Good draw.
Go on, son. Triple D. Triple D. Gordon Bombay taught us well. Come on, son. And here we go. He's moving in for the penalty shot. Forehand backhand. Ah, on the backhand try.
Good try. Good try.
Adam Selner. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a wonderful day. God, we're getting a lot of people in today. It's awesome. Thanks, guys. So, well, basically every single team under the sun has been... every single NHL team has been recommended for me to talk about now. Evander Kane trade rumours. I definitely think Evander Kane's being traded before the deadline. Like, I think that is an absolute... I think that's an absolute assurance, because Buffalo have sucked this year. Like, I mean, they managed to take the New York Rangers until... They managed to keep that a relatively close game until the end. But then again, the New York Rangers have also sucked so far this year. Mostly, anyway. But, yeah, Evander Kane is gone. I've seen a lot of rumours saying they want similar pieces to a Matt Duchene type trade. Not so much a three-way trade that they did, but they want similar sort of pieces back in terms of, like, a first-rounder, a solid prospect, and a sort of player that's way past their prime or something like that. I think that's kind of what's up for offer. Oh, by the way, it's 1-1 at the end of the first in this game, if you're keeping track. I think Evander Kane is definitely gone. I think, especially now that he's starting shit with the rest of his teammates, he's definitely gone. I think, like, sure, Justin Falk, he scored his first goal in 100 games last night. He's not exactly a goal scorer compared to Evander Kane, but, like, that sets a bad precedent in the locker room if you've got two guys trying to beat the shit out of each other in practice. As Allen Iverson said, we're talking about practice. Like, I just think Evander Kane, there's no point in him being there. Well, I mean, there is a point in him being there because he's the only player that's putting up points for the team. But he's played well since he moved to Buffalo. Like, he's kind of been, other than this season, he's been under the radar in terms of his production. But he's been pretty consistent with his production. Oh, go on, son. Go on, that's a nice pass. Oh, there you go. Beautiful. Nice. Get that goal. Get that goal.
Manual saucer pass.
That was a beautiful pass. See, every Wayne Gretzky needs their, well, what's his name? Shit. Every Wayne Gretzky needs his Yari Curie. There you go. Even though Wayne Gretzky was the guy dishing the puck. But he did score a shit ton of goals as well, so I still feel the argument is valid. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Oh, come on, tuck it, you smelly arse. I love how the guys is on the ice like, I've given up playing. So yeah, Evander Kane definitely gone. In terms of where I think he's going to go, I have no idea. If we're looking at teams that are wanting to stack up for a playoff push, Colorado maybe. They have the salary cap for him at the moment, but I doubt that they'll want to take him on. At the moment, I don't know a potential suitor for him. That's the problem. Maybe Columbus, but they're quite up to the cap, aren't they? Because they're wanting to get rid of Jack Johnson. Oh, this is nice. I'm getting the pass to you, Max, so stay there, son. Over! Oh! No! That's close. That was close. Good try there. I knew I was going to fuck it up if I tried it, so rather give it to you so you fuck it up instead. Oh, that's a bad pass. That is a bad pass.
I have the worst plus minus on the club right now. I've always said.
Do you seriously?
I was looking through the stats earlier. Yeah, I'm minus 20.
You are well, seriously? No, that can't be right.
Not after the last game, because obviously I was plus some.
Yeah.
I was minus 21, minus 22.
Jeez.
And now I'm in the block.
You are not helping yourself, mate. I love it.
Minus.
Oh, I love it.
No.
Oh, that's a beautiful poke check. I'm coming. Ah. Defense. Get defense. What are you playing at? Ugh. What are your thoughts on the Minnesota Wild this season? They've been a team that have kind of gone under the radar. Like, there's not really been many major talking points about them this year. Like, they're a team that you could easily forget that they're still playing. Like, there's been a lot of fanfare about the Vegas Golden Knights. There's been a lot of fanfare about Brock Besser. There's been a lot of fanfare about how shit the Edmonton Oilers were for half the season. Like, there's been a lot of fanfare about certain teams, and the Minnesota Wild have just kind of quietly gone about their business. Which is, I think, the best way to do it. I'm very much somebody that likes to just get on with their shit and not worry about the spotlight. Which doesn't make sense considering I'm streaming this game to tens of people. But still. Gotta have a bit of balance. Thoughts on Colorado's turnaround this season? Yeah. I mean, the only way was up, really, wasn't it? Like, you couldn't really get much worse than last season. Go on, son. Oh, and the other try. Oh, I've got it. This is mine. This is mine. This is mine. Low pad rebound. Okay, that one didn't go low at all. I did aim low. Oh, nice play. Oh.
Oh, what a shot.
Yeah, so Colorado Avalanche, they've done a very good job. They haven't lost since the start of the new year, have they? Oh, that was a good try, boys. Yeah, I don't believe the Colorado Avalanche have lost so far in 2018. I mean, they've obviously had their bye week this week. Or was it last week? I can't remember. I've got to admit, though, bye weeks, completely understand them, but I bloody hate them as a hockey fan. Like, they suck. Like, I completely understand why teams have them, and I think it's a brilliant idea to incorporate them. Here comes the low pad rebound. Boosh! Ah! Yeah. I don't like the bye weeks. I don't like the fact that each team has to take 5 days off. Because it just gives me like flashbacks to the off season when the draft and free agency are done, and then there's just nothing but an empty void of hockeyless life. It's not a nice experience. So yeah, bye weeks, hate them. Oh, that's an oh come on! I did not interfere with him. I was well away from him. Come on! Look, he had the chance to make the save. Oh,
exactly.
Chicago are having a terrible season so far. Very disappointing. I mean, Chicago are having a tough season so far. I wouldn't say they're having a terrible season. I would say compare them to the Montreal Canadiens. That's a team that's having a terrible season, and they next year their contract for Carey Price kicks in, and he's looked pretty mediocre all season. It's because they lost basically their entire defensive core, or the decent defensemen on their team in the off-season. So, yeah. Montreal Canadiens, and they can't score goals to save their lives because Max Pacioretty is the only guy that can somehow score on their team. And he's probably going to be traded before the end of the season. I think the two guys at the moment on my radar as the biggest trade bait are Evander Kane, Max Pacioretty. I'd like to hear your opinions in the chat. Let me know who you think is going to be traded. Ottawa has been a disaster. Well, yeah, Ottawa's been a disaster from all points. They've had to like basically hide a load of their seats under tarp for most of the season because they're not selling enough tickets. They make it one game away from the Stanley Cup final last season, and they can't sell out their arena. Like, that's a bad situation.
It always makes me wonder, like, how much more does the NHL have to do? Like, the English League does as much as it can with as much funding as it gets. But yet the NHL is so big, yet arenas are still like half empty.
Yeah.
You know, patches of seats missing. Like.
But the crazy thing is as well, like,
you have to do to make it
their revenue is up. Like, their revenues keeps climbing. And that's why the salary cap keeps improving. Like, the salary cap has the potential because their profit has been so good this last year. The salary cap could move up by 6 million this off season. It usually moves by like 1.5 or 2. You know.
Yeah.
But I mean,
that's just silly. All you're doing is just giving better players more money.
Exactly.
Which is great for them. But is it really improving the sport?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the big question. I must admit I'm a big fan of the salary cap. I'm gonna put that disclaimer out here now. I think the salary cap is a fantastic idea, and I think other than the NBA, it makes the sport quite unique in that sense, and it means that you really have to build. It emphasises the team. I think that's where I like it more than something like, say, football. It emphasises the team over the individual. And that's what I like the most about the salary cap. So I'm very much in favour of the salary cap. I think it's a brilliant thing. So, like, because the salary cap, I think it's predicted to improve this next off-season between $2 and $6 million, something like that. It's that rough thing because of the revenue that they've made this last season. The problem is that because it keeps climbing, players are earning more money than ever. Case in point, Connor McDavid's contract that will kick in next season, you know? Like, and Carey Price's contract that will kick in next season. Like, these teams have signed these contracts with the clause that the salary cap is going to keep increasing and increasing. The only problem is that if somehow it all completely crashes and burns, then we might see a bit of a problem within the salary cap era and players having to sign really small contracts just to stay in the league, which I don't think will happen because the NHL is on the rise still. Because I mean, Gary Bettman, like, he's a pretty awful commissioner in quite a lot of ways, but he knows how to make the NHL be a profitable organisation. Not so much as the NFL or the NBA or anything like that. Like, they're not at those levels, but it's definitely one of those situations where he's not the best hockey guy, but he's the best business guy for the job. Which, at the end of the day, the NHL is a business, so that's why he's in charge. That's why he's been in charge for so long. That's why he's expanded to all of these different places. Like during the 2000s, I've researched this stuff like so many times because I enjoy researching this stuff. That's why I like doing my historical videos about hockey, because I find just researching this stuff so fascinating. Like the 2000 expansion saw, like, it was basically the 1967 expansion, but it over the space of roughly 5 to 6 years. Like, I'm completely paraphrasing the situation, obviously. And whilst you have the Florida Panthers in there, who struggle to get people in seats quite often, like, the situation is that those teams, they've been in the league for about 25 years or so now. They're starting to turn decent profits. Like, they're actually in the position now that they're making money, most of them anyway. I mean, you've got teams like Arizona and Florida, who are like two of the teams that don't make money. In Carolina, they're another team that don't really make much money. But, like, for example, they've got a new majority owner in the team who's actually interested in the hockey. So you'll hopefully see an increase in stuff for them. Like, I think they want to build a new practice facility, and they want to improve the area around the arena and try more publicity stuff. Like, that's what you want from a hockey owner. Like, I don't know who the owner of the Florida Panthers is, or who the majority owner of the Florida Panthers is, but, or the Arizona Coyotes for that matter, but they're not doing a very good job. Simply put, like, because some people might argue, oh, but it's a Sunbelt franchise. Like, of course it's not going to do very well. Like, nobody wants to watch hockey in the bloody sunshine. The California teams and Tampa Bay is like the immediate like response to that. Like, there are teams that will sell out their arenas. They're not the biggest arenas in the league, but yeah, the Dallas Stars. Yeah, another point. They're in fucking Texas, like one of the hottest places in that country.
If that's like football country,
exactly. And they've got, and I mean, of course, I would say that winning a Stanley Cup definitely helps. Dallas have managed to do it. Tampa Bay have managed to do it. Arizona haven't, and Florida haven't. So you could also argue that's a problem there as well. But like, it's just an issue. Like, those teams need to start turning a profit, otherwise they're going to get moved. I mean, the Carolina Hurricanes, not in the near future. I think they've got a lease for the next like 10 years or so, or the next 8 years or so. They've not got a problem. We've got the problem with the New York Islanders. They've only just bloody almost figured out their arena for next season.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the Barclays Center don't want them there. Yeah. Like, I mean, John Tavares, like, he's been a massive talking point this season because he's going to be potentially an unrestricted free agent. I'm completely bouncing between topics. I know I'm not keeping a proper thread of conversation, but this is just the way my brain works, apparently. John Tavares, like, he is a solid player. Like, I am not a big fan of the Islanders as a Rangers fan. I mean, I respect them as an NHL team and everything they've done and all that. But I'm not the sort of person to put on a New York Islanders game in my spare time. I will watch clips of John Tavares. I will happily sit down and watch some of the stuff he does because he is a phenomenal player. The only problem is that this year, very much like Stamkos last year, or the year before, the big talks about, oh, where's he oh, that's a rubbish goal. Where's he going to play next year? Oh, why isn't he signed with his team yet? Like, first of all, give the fellas a break. Like, let them get this season done. They can take as long as they bloody want. They can take until the day before the start of the season. Like, a guy like Steven Stamkos and a guy like John Tavares, if they want to wait until the very last minute, they have earned that right. Like, they have been top players in the league consistently for the last few years. They have earned the right to be able to say, you know what, I want to take some time and think about this properly. And I want to go away in the off-season, spend some time with my family, maybe see what my girlfriend, wife or kids or anything like that, where they want to go, where they feel comfortable. Do they feel comfortable where they're playing at the moment? Do they want to move closer to grandparents or stuff like that? Like, it's... That's the one thing I hate about the hockey media, I must admit. Like, stirring up all these stories about, like, where are these players going to sign? Well, you'll find out. So stop speculating. Like, you will find out in due time. Yeah, it might be a situation where, like John Tavares, for example, I think he's had conversations with the Islanders ownership, but not many. Like, he's focusing on this season. His team are trying to make the playoffs.
Exactly.
Like, let him focus on that. Yeah.
An agent for that sort of shit.
Exactly. And yeah, Don, sorry, I haven't been really looking at the stream chat. I kind of glanced at it every once in a while, and once I started this kind of big podcast style spiel, hasn't been many what's it called, comments in the chat. So I've just kind of been going. Hope that's okay with people watching. Oh, that was dodgy. Careful there, folks. Yeah, but Donald, you're absolutely right. Tavares has carried and continues to carry the New York Islanders. I mean, it's now at the position where they've got some young guys around him to help him out. Matthew Barzal, solid player, made my New York Rangers look really shit about a week ago. So he's a solid player. And there's a couple of other young guys. I can't remember the names off the top of my head. There's Barzal. They've signed Scott Mayfield to a 5-year contract. I didn't even know who the bloody guy was until he earned this big contract. He's getting like $1.52 million for the next 5 years, and I didn't even know his bloody name. I didn't even know he was on the Islanders roster. But like as you're saying, Donald, Tavares has carried the New York Islanders. He continues to carry the New York Islanders. He's finally got players that are living up to their potential, like Anders Lee and what's his name, Josh Bailey, who are now becoming more point per game players. Like, if he had that for the last few years, they would have made the playoffs several times, because they would have a consistent set of players playing with John Tavares. You can't have one player lead a team to like a victory. It's not the 80s anymore. You can't just have a Gretzky anymore. You need a set of those players to help you win a Stanley Cup. Like, you can't just have one superstar. Any team that has made it to the playoffs and gone out of the playoffs is because they have one really solid player and one really good option, but nothing else. Like, to take the New York Islanders in the last times they've made the playoffs. John Tavares, nobody else. What's happened? They've been eliminated in the playoffs. Take the Pittsburgh Penguins, who have repeated Stanley Cup success. They have Crosby. They have Malkin. They haven't really had Letang. They've had Matt Murray, or they've had Marc-Andre Fleury. They've had those clutch guys, and that's what you need to win a championship. So this whole situation with Tavares and where he's going to sign, he's gonna wait until he's ready to make that decision, and hopefully he'll have the arena around him to go, yeah, we actually want the Islanders to stay in New York. Here you go. Stay here and win a championship. Like, that's the dream for the New York Islanders. I don't think Tavares wants to go. He's never said, I don't think, in an interview that he wants to leave the team. Of course, he never will say that, because he's a professional. Professionals don't say things like that, unless they've been probed about it for the last year. So, like, another comparison to it is the Erik Karlsson situation. Like, the NHL.com and the Canadian sports media are going absolutely nuts about Erik Karlsson and where he's going to be. Is he going to be traded before the end of the season? I saw another article on NHL.com earlier today. Oh, the owner of, or the GM of the Ottawa Senators isn't planning on trading Erik Karlsson, but he's listening to offers. Well, I mean, that's not news. Every GM's going to listen to an offer that they get for a player, because they're trying to make their team better, and if they get something they can't refuse, they're going to take it. I mean, there's a lot of talk. Do the Ottawa Senators tank for Rasmus Dahlin in the draft? Will he be the next Erik Karlsson? I mean, you've already got an Erik Karlsson, so keep him. Like, he hasn't had a good year, admittedly. But then again, most of the Ottawa Senators haven't had a good year. Is that because Erik Karlsson hasn't had a good year? Or is that because the majority of the players on the team haven't had a good year? I would argue the latter, you know? Like, I just think it's... And they're blowing this whole, like, he's got 1 year left on his contract. Will he be traded before the end of the season? Like, who cares? Let him play. He's a generational talent. Like, no matter what anybody says, like, Karlsson, he's been a bit sucky on defense over the last few years. He's been more of an offensive defenseman, as anybody would attest to. But he's a solid player. So, and he's one of the best defensemen. He has, some people have argued that he has basically changed the role of the defenseman in today's NHL. You could argue that. Quite a lot of players say, especially that are coming up, quite a lot of, oh, go on, shit. Ah, good try. Quite a lot of the players are saying that I've modelled my game after Erik Karlsson. Like, he's one of those names that comes up now. We're at that point where he's been in the league long enough, and the young guys have watched him long enough, that he's a name that comes up quite often in the chat. Because they always have those questions at the draft, don't they? So what kind of player do you mould your game over? Oh, well, I think I'm a bit of Jonathan Toews with a hint of Patrick Kane, you know? Like, they always say like that like it's a fucking cooking recipe. Like, just say what kind of player you are. Like, say the stuff you do, not the person you're like. Oh, that's a nice goal. Beautiful. Like, I think it's just really silly that they're like, oh, I model my game over John Tavares' style. Well, then he models his game over somebody else, and he models his game over somebody else, and then you just get into the string of, who was the first player to ever play hockey? Like, you know? It's like, why don't you just say, I'm the sort of guy that likes to get in front of the goalie's eyes and make sure he can't see the puck and maybe redirect in a couple of shots here and then. Like, say that instead. That's a more interesting response, because then players and fans can know, that's the type of player this person is. Not, oh, this is the type of player trying to be John Tavares. But he's not. So, it's just, I've rambled on about loads of different topics there for no reason. Any other topics in the chat? Let me hear them. And you guys, talking at the moment, like, throw in your hat into the ring if you want.
Well, I was going to ask, like, do you think Rangers are going to make a move for anybody with the amount of interest that you guys have got?
No, I don't think they will. And the reason I say that is because the players that they would want to get rid of have no trade clauses. Which is the biggest problem. They've got too many players that... I think the only player that could... Well, there's two players that I could see the Rangers trading at the deadline. There's Rick Nash, for obvious reasons, that his salary cap is ridiculous. And there's Michael Grabner, because he is a low-risk, high-reward pickup. So we got a division promotion. We got the Bronze Conference title. Oh, we've unlocked helmet numbers. How marvellous. God, we're moving up in the world, folks.
Hey.
Right, so, yep, so we made it to Division 8. That's pretty cool. Nice. Yep, that's good. Yeah, so I think Grabner could be traded because he's a 20-goal scorer already this season. I hope he doesn't. I hope he's not traded, because I absolutely love Michael Grabner on the New York Rangers roster. I think he's been one of the nicest surprises over the last few years for us. And I think he's going to continue like that. And Rick Nash I could expect to be traded if a team will pick him up. But if we could get Rick Nash, if there was a situation where Nash was traded and then he re-signed with us in the off-season, that would be nice. Because, one, he'd be getting a lower paycheck, definitely. He's not earning $7 million on his next contract, that's for sure. And he's not the goal scorer that he once was, but he's a solid defensive player now. Like, Alain Vigneault has managed to turn him into one of the best penalty killers in the league, I would argue. Like, behind Michael Grabner. Like, the New York Rangers penalty kill before the game yesterday, I'm not sure how the stats changed after yesterday, because they did allow a power play goal. They had the second best penalty kill in the league. Like, and the main guys on the penalty kill are Rick Nash, Michael Grabner, forwards that is, Kevin Hayes when he's playing, Mark Stahl when he's playing, but he's a defenseman obviously, and Mika Zibanejad, and Jesper Fast. So Zibanejad, Nash, Grabner, Fast are usually the penalty killers, and they've got the second best penalty kill in the league. And two of the guys that I think could be traded are two of the best penalty killers on their team. So, you know, sorry, I've completely neglected the chat for a little while. Right, let's carry on playing. Sorry, I'm kind of gone into like autopilot while playing this game. I've just been talking about what I want to talk about, really. Hope that's not a problem for anyone. I'm not planning on stopping, so. I saw something about Seattle expansion. Yeah, that's a nice topic to talk about next. I definitely think there will be a expansion into Seattle. I mean, once again, Quebec are put on the back foot, but I'm not surprised. I think, I think they've applied for it. They've got a solid ownership. Like, Oh, whoops. Let's cancel the game. Everybody back out. Everybody back out. Soviet Reaper, let me invite you to the party, son. Sorry. Didn't realise that you were jumping in. Let me invite you to the party. There you go. Even if you haven't got a mic, it's not a problem. Yeah, Seattle. That's what we're talking about. We're now in the position where a new NHL franchise after the Vegas Golden Knights. So this Seattle team, in order to play in the NHL whenever they join, which is in like 3 or 4 years, it would cost them over $1 billion to join the National Hockey League. And there is a group of owners. There's a group of owners for the this potential Seattle team that are willing to spend that much money to get an NHL team in Seattle. So I think Gary Bettman is definitely the sort of person that if he sees a place that's going, yes, we have the money, we have it available to give to you whenever you need it. We're not going to try and faff about with trying to pick up the money. Like we're not looking in the back of our sofas or anything. Like they've got the money for it. He's going to take it. He's going to take it and run with it. And I think that's smart because I hate the fact that the league has 31 teams. It's so unbalanced. Like,
plus they have
it would be nice to even out the conference.
Exactly. I think it's ridiculous to have 31 teams. Like an NHL game or a hockey game or a sports game in general that requires teams needs 2 teams to play it. So don't have an odd number of teams. It doesn't make any sense. It's like when they redid the what was it? When they redid the conferences so that both the Eastern divisions had 8 teams and both of the
had 7.
Yeah, had 7.
Westerns
it's like
have 7.
What? Why? Don't do that.
And with the Vegas coming in, that just added 1 more. But we need another.
Exactly.
Just to even it
But I
out.
mean, Vegas is in its own shitty problems at the moment. They've got a lawsuit going against them by the army. So. And we'll talk about that in a minute if you want, folks. Same thing happened to the Leafs dynasty in the 60s. Memphis, Tim Horton, Johnny Bell. Guys may not have been the best, but definitely clutch players. Exactly, Donald, you're absolutely right. Vegas win the playoffs. I mean, at the moment, it's not out of the realm of possibility. That's all I'm saying. What's your favourite team? New York Rangers. Boom. They're shit, but I love them. Vinny Lettieri. He was good in his debut. He's done some good things. He's just not getting that puck luck at the moment. Like, he came so close in the Buffalo game last night. Like, he got so close on like 4 or 5 different opportunities. He just couldn't get it past, which is a shame. Would anyone pick up Nash for 6.8 mil or whatever he's on? A rebuilding team that wants some decent prospects and picks might, because his contract runs out at the end of this season. So if they only have to pay 6.8 million for the rest of the season and pick up a first-round pick and a solid prospect and maybe another roster player, a team might do it. I mean, there are teams that have the salary cap space and they don't have to commit to him next game, do they? Or next season. They don't have to. They don't have to be like, oh, actually, we're going to sign you for another 7 years at 10 million. Like, no. All they have to do is pay him until the end of the year. And he's a solid player. He doesn't put up the points that he used to, but that's because he's adapted his play style in order to suit today's NHL. He's not the fastest skater out there, so he complements his somewhat lack of skating ability, or his lack of skating ability compared to the many fast players in the league, with defensive ability. Which, I mean, a team like the New York Rangers, looking at their defensive core, they fucking need it. Right, let's try and win this game, gents. Anybody in the party wanna throw their hat in the ring? Any topics that we've brought up so far? Oh. No? Alright then. Looks like we're all concentrating on the game. I understand that. That's cool. That's cool. So yeah, Vegas, currently in a lawsuit at the moment. For those of you who don't know, the Vegas Golden Knights, they're named the Golden Knights. When they announced their team, they didn't actually have full ownership of the trademark of the term Golden Knights. So
Oh,
that
no.
trademark is owned by a US hockey team or a US sports team. I know it's a sports team. I can't quite say for sure if it's a US or an Army hockey team. I think it's the Air Force's sports team, and they are called the Golden Knights. There's also one called the Black Knights, and pardon me. That was the initial name for the Golden Knights, because but
The college team is the Black Knights. They have a parachuting team.
that's the
that's
one.
Golden
Yeah, that's the
Knights
one.
in the
Yeah.
Army. Yeah.
And basically, the Army didn't say that was cool. So they were, penalty shot, shit. The Army basically said, hang on a minute, we've got a team named that. What's going on? So they've filed a what's it called? I can't remember exactly what's. I think it's an injunction. I think that's the word for it. They filed something legal to do with it, and yeah, they're basically like, yeah, you can't have our name. So there is the full possibility that the Vegas Golden Knights won't be called the Golden Knights next year. Now, I don't think that's going to be the situation, but that is a possibility at this moment in time.
Yeah, I was just about to ask if you think that they will have to change the name
I
or
don't think
not.
they will. I don't think they will, purely because I think it's because cease and desist. It might, yeah, I think it might have been a
I'm
cease and
heading out in
desist.
about 5 minutes.
I
I've got training.
I think.
Got training.
Oh, he's got training. I think. I think the I don't think they will lose the name because they'll be like, oh well, it's an army team. Like, is it a hockey team? The parachute team.
Right.
Like, it is a hockey team, isn't it? Because I mean that might muddy the water a little bit. But if it was like a basketball team, if I was the judge, I'd be like, different sport, different field. Like, I get where you're coming from, but at the same time, it's like, I'm not gonna lie. My main argument is I don't think the parachute regiment Golden Knights are losing like revenue or anything because the Vegas Golden Knights have their name because they're part of the state, because they're an army division. So,
Right.
so I like it's kind of like why do they want the question that baffles me is why do they want them to stop using this name? Because they've got the name and they wanted it first. But that's stuff that happens on the playground. Like we're not.
Yeah. To what
Right.
to what detriment are they actually?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Well,
to what force
when I
is
was
it happening? Like,
when I was reading it, they were saying something about that and actually, like, some kind of damage that they had from them using them. I'm like, what? How? Because I don't get it. They're two different things.
That just sounds like that.
Nobody goes to a Golden Knight.
Yeah.
It just sounds.
That
funny.
yeah. That just sounds like
To be
they're
honest.
finding an excuse to either get a bit of publicity for whatever team they are,
Right.
or they're just trying to.
Right.
If there's a chance we can pick up some extra cash to help buy some new equipment, yeah, why not? Go for it. Like that just
Right.
seems very strange to me.
I mean, I can't remember if it was the owner of the Golden Knights. He said that nobody goes, to the Golden Knights thinking that they're gonna join the army.
Yeah.
They know they're going to. A
Yeah,
hockey
exactly.
That'd be kind of
yeah.
weird though. If somebody would show up.
Just like,
I thought this was the Army Training Center. I didn't know this was a
where should I do the push-ups? It's like it just seems really strange. Like I need to read up more about it to know the full extent of what's going on. Like I know some of it. Ow, get up, you fool! I'm not that injured. But like I don't think it's. I don't know everything about the situation, which of course hampers my like full view on the whole situation. But it's kind of like I don't expect them to be changing their name. Like I've only just gotten used to calling them the bloody Golden Knights and only gotten used to the fact that that's actually a decent name to have. Like don't change it now. And what will they change it to? Like their initial idea was the Black Knights, but they didn't want to use that because of the Blackhawks. They wanted to use the name Knights, but the London Knights of the Ontario Hockey League already used that name. So I understand.
Right.
That I understand. That makes sense to me because they are a hockey team. They are a business. Also, if a team that's bigger and going to earn more money comes in and goes, "We're going to use your name now," and then you don't do anything about it, then you could potentially lose revenue. Sure, it's Vegas and London, Ontario. There's a difference, obviously. But, like, that I understand. But an Army Regiment sports team? No. What? Like, get over yourselves.
Right.
Like, we're not in fucking kindergarten anymore.
Well, and the Golden Knights, they're not...
Exactly.
I mean,
like, it's a sports team within the Army. Like, they're not a professional team. They're not a... Oh, bye, Max. They're not a...
Oh, my bad. That was a bad pass.
They're not an official, like...
Offside.
Oh, well, here we go. Here's a fight.
Oh, here we go. We got a fight.
Hey, Jaden
Yeah.
Cox. Sorry, I've not really been paying too much attention to the chat that
Ooh,
much. I do apologise.
he
That was a nice
up.
fight, though.
Yeah.
So we've got we'll just finish off this chat about Vegas, and then yeah, Andy T, you're right. I want to talk about Cogliano's suspension. That's an interesting talking point. So the Vegas Golden Knights, I definitely think that by the end of the season they will have. They won't be changing their name. If they do change their name, I can kind of understand it, but it still is a bit ridiculous. Like, if it happens that it's like, the Vegas Golden Knights actually do need to change their name, I'll be like, okay, fair dues, like, because they hadn't secured the trademark, I understand that this is one of the consequences that they should have accepted would potentially be a thing. Have somebody bring them up on it, which, obviously, they have. But... at the same time, I'm not going to be like, yes, this is the right decision. I think it'll be a pretty crappy decision, but it's a fair decision nonetheless. Like, I mean, if it's legally binding and it's all in the papers, like, that's fair enough. Like, the judge has got to do his job correctly. You would complain that if he did it wrong or corruptly, then, like, people would complain about that. So don't complain if he does his job right or her job right. But, yeah, I don't think we've got a problem with it. I think they'll just... I think the judge will basically tell the Parachute Regiment Golden Knights to be like, simmer down, lads, simmer down, come on. Oh, there you go. Beautiful goal.
Right. Oh, good goal.
Beautiful.
Good goal.
But, yeah, in terms...
We lost two people on our team.
Oh, did we?
No, we lost two people on our team. Yeah.
We lost one once in the penalty box.
Oh, pardon me. Oh, and again.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, no, we didn't. We lost one.
I think Max had to leave.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm not sure. I don't know. So the Army Golden Knights aren't a sports team. They're a sports team of the US Army Parachute Regiment. So they're not a professional sports team. Yeah. They're a army sports team, where like different regiments from different places will play other teams for, basically to be like, we're the better sports team and we're the best peak physical fitness and we're great, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but they're not a professional sports team, you know. But yeah, so Andrew Cogliano, yeah, he got suspended 2 games.
What, did I get a penalty for that?
You probably did.
No,
Yeah,
I
the
didn't
puck.
interfere.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
I tried to hit him.
Oh.
His teammate was
Well, that's a
next
good
to him.
try. So, yeah, so Andrew Cogliano, for those of you who don't know, he got suspended for 2 games for an interference penalty that he took on, was it Adrian Kempe? Maybe? Something like that? It's one of them.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, that's what I thought. See, I know what I'm talking about sometimes. And essentially, he was on a huge Iron Man streak for consecutive games played in the NHL. That's what an Iron Man streak is, in case you were wondering. I think it was at like 400, 500 games. Right. Can somebody like find out the exact number that it was on? Like,
I'll do it now.
Perfect, thank you. I just want to make sure that I get the facts right. But yeah, he was on a massive Iron Man streak. That's come to an end because he was or is in the process of being suspended for 2 games. And lots of people are like, well, that's ridiculous. Like, I mean, it was Kempe's stick that hit him in the head and knocked him down. No, like, I'm sorry to bring this to your attention, but it was a bad hit. Like,
830 games.
Wow, that's way more than I expected. And he recently, I think just before the suspension, 830.
830.
Fucking hell.
That's 10 seasons straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, lots of. Just before he got suspended, he also signed a 2-year contract extension with the Anaheim Ducks as well. So they, of course, rewarding him for his continued production and lack of injuries in the league, which, fair enough. Cogliano's been a solid player for the Anaheim Ducks in the role that he's needed to play. However, like, for those of you who think that the hit wasn't right, you're wrong. Like, I'm sorry, you're 100% wrong. Most of the time, I like to be very impartial, but oh, that was a nice snipe.
Nice.
Most of the time, people like to be. I like to give both sides of the argument and say like, oh, but like you could see it from this way, and that's perfectly understandable. I like to be quite neutral here on the channel, and then give my opinion afterwards. However, with this one, it's a blatant interference. It was a blatant interference and a check to the head. In some ways, you could argue, yeah, it was his stick that hit him. To an extent, yeah, maybe. But the reason for that happening is because Andrew fucking Cogliano was hitting him in the first place. Like, the Adrian Kemp, or Kempy, whatever his bloody name is, he released the puck at the centre red line. He got hit in the offensive zone by Andrew Cogliano. He had made at least 5 or 6 strides before getting hit. Like, if that's not interference, I don't know what is. Like, that's a legitimate suspendable offence. Like, most people, the most people that I found that are arguing this differently are like, well, but he's got an Iron Man streak that's done really well. Yeah, but you can't excuse an awful play and a check to the head for a guy that's played a load of games. Like, it doesn't work like that.
Right.
That's not.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's not how the rule book works. They don't go, oh well, this guy's the best player in the league. We can't have him do that. I mean, some people would argue differently with somebody like Connor McDavid or Sidney Crosby. I mean, each to their own. But you never see the rule book go, oh well, this person has got 50 assists this season, so we have to make sure he doesn't get. Oh, nice snipe. We have to make sure he doesn't get suspended.
I thought I blocked that.
Like, you don't see the NHL go, oh, well, I mean, he's had 4 shutouts this year, so he shouldn't get a suspension. No, that's not how it works, because when that starts to happen, you get something called corruption in sports. And do you know the last time that happened on a very big scale? The Russian doping scandal. And do you know what happened there? Loads of players got fucked. They took substances that they shouldn't do and tried to bend the rules, and their national team has been banned from the upcoming Winter Olympics. Like, and the president of the bloody Continental Hockey League in Russia has been, like, removed from his post as the president of the Continental Hockey League. He's not allowed to have any dealings with the business of the KHL.
That's my bad.
Like that's what happens when you try to bend the rules.
Did look very accidental.
Oh, good, oh, good.
The United States Army parachute team, nicknamed Golden Knights, is a demonstration and competition parachute team of the United States Army. Exactly. It's not even a hockey team. Like, shut up. I thought they were actually a parachuting team. That's
Good hit, Bot.
Oh yeah, well, I'm not quite sure. Oh, right. Shit, we're already over halfway through this game. I've literally gone full autopilot with this game. Not even paying attention. Barely paying attention to the chat by the looks of it. I'm just chatting about stuff. Like,
Hey, it's the power of conversation.
exactly,
man.
yeah. Give me topics to talk about, and I'll bloody talk about them till the sky turns orange. Which is probably tomorrow morning. So yeah, chat, give me another topic. Jaden, Cox, give me a topic, son. Hockey related. Give me a chat. Could talk about Jaromir Jagr if you want, but I've got a video coming up on that on Sunday, hopefully. So.
What are your thoughts on Gary Bettman?
He's an asshole. I mean, like, as I said earlier, he's not a very good hockey man. He's a good businessman. I mean, I love the fact that the league hates him. Like, I enjoy that, and in some ways, I like to take part in that. But at the same time, like, with any of the stuff that he does, he knows exactly what he's doing. Like, with the whole Olympic situation, like, oh, the NHL's not going to the Olympics. Oh, I'm not going to watch it. First of all, that's... Like, if any of you in the chat or in this party have taken that opinion, touche, fair enough, each to their own. But I think that's a pretty poor reason to not watch the Winter Olympics. Because the Winter Olympics is pretty fucking cool. Anyway, he knows exactly what he's doing there.
I'm still gonna watch him.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I haven't actually done a video on the...
especially the winter.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't actually done a video on the Canadian and Swedish rosters that have been announced. But I probably should have, but the Team USA one didn't do very well in view, so I think I've kind of been putting it off. Anyway, Gary Bettman hasn't let the NHL players go to the Winter Olympics because it would disrupt their season too much. Like, they'd have to take 2 weeks off, which is basically a World Cup of hockey in the season. Like, I can completely understand why he wouldn't want to... Oh, why did I do that? I completely understand why he wouldn't want his players going. Like, it would be nice if they did, and it would make the Winter Olympic hockey competition as authentic as possible. However, like, he's got the interest of the NHL at the forefront of his head. He's the commissioner for the NHL, not the Winter Olympics. Like, his job is to make the NHL be a profitable endeavour. And making the players take 2 weeks off, and the main problem was the Olympic Committee weren't willing to pay everything for, like, flights and check-ins and hotel costs and food costs and stuff. Like, they weren't willing to pay for the accommodation of the players, or all of the accommodation. Maybe Gary Bettman was asking for too much, maybe not, I don't know. I wasn't in the talks. But maybe, like, he's not doing those stuff. He's not letting them go because he knows that it won't make the NHL any money. Which you might argue, oh, that's ridiculous. Like, he's not why would he stop the best players in the world going to the best tournament of hockey in the world just because he wants to make money? That's what he is. Like, he's the fucking deputy commissioner. Like, or the commissioner. Like, that's what he does. That's what he's paid to do. Like, you could, I mean, EA, for example, you could take the same different tack, or the similar tack, like, oh, well, why do they keep having microtransactions in their games? Like, what you could say, oh, but they're a business to make money, but it's not a good practice. Sure. I mean, that's a completely different scenario, and I could have a massive conversation about that if you want. That went off my arse. We could have a massive conversation about that if you really want, but at the same time, it's kind of like, that's a completely different scenario. It's 2 weeks of the NHL schedule that wouldn't be played. I mean, it's the start of February to mid-February, I believe. I think it's the 3rd to the 15th, I want to say, off the top of my head, something like that. Take that into perspective, that's 2 weeks before the trade deadline that wouldn't be played. The trade deadline is the 26th, I believe, of February. Imagine those 2 weeks of player development that, or stat numbers, or players on the rise, or players on the fall, that wouldn't happen because of the Winter Olympics. Like, I'd love the NHL players to go. I would love that more than anything, because then you get the most authentic Winter Olympics possible, and you'd see probably Canada win it yet again. However, on the flip side, they're not going to go because it won't make the NHL money, and that's completely understandable. Like, it just...
Yeah, that's what I heard, is that this was all about money.
Yeah. But at the same point, like, whilst that's... When stuff is all about money, that's mostly from the public image, or from public opinion, that's always seen as a bad thing. But, like, if you want the NHL to continue being better and continue being this wonderful thing that we all watch and enjoy, like, it needs to earn money. If the NHL wasn't earning money, and if it was netting losses every single year, it wouldn't continue, or it wouldn't continue in the way that we see it evolving. Like, I can understand people being upset that their favourite players aren't going to the Olympics, but how many of you are actually going to go to Pyeongchang to watch them play live? Not many of you, I would argue. So what does it matter?
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna go.
You can watch them.
I mean, I watch it on TV.
Yeah, you can watch them play more games at a time more convenient for you. Oh, that's a nice goal. In a more convenient setting.
Nice job.
In a more convenient setting for like you can, rather than like seeing them go, you can watch them play more games a week for them playing in the NHL. Like, why not just do that?
Right.
Like, would you rather have them play 2 games a week or 5 games a week? Like, if you want 5 games a week, they're staying in the NHL. What else? Why don't you let individual clubs decide? Because whilst they're contracted to individual clubs, they're also contracted to the league. So whilst the thing is that's the situation with Alexander Ovechkin. Like the owner of the Washington Capitals was very much like, yeah, if Ovi wants to go, then I'm gonna give him full permission to go. Problem is that's not his call.
Right.
It's the league bigwigs. It's the league bigwigs call, because they are the ones that ultimately own the players' contracts. Oh, that's a snipe.
Oh.
The NHL is dumb. Why don't they let the people play like the players from Russia play? What? Oh, you mean the Continental Hockey League? Well, it's because it's a different ice surface. The rinks in Europe are bigger than the ones in the NHL. That's why, for example, Vadim Shipachov... Oh, let's have a big chat about Ship, shall we? So, Vadim Shipachov. He's 31 years old. He's played for, I'm pretty sure, SK St. Petersburg, who is my favourite KHL team, just in case you're wondering. He's played for them for his entire pro career in the Continental Hockey League. He is a Russian-born player himself. He signs with the Vegas Golden Knights, and he doesn't do very well. He does pretty awfully, in fact. I mean, there's several factors, and I've done a video about it already, like the factors and what happened in this situation to cause that problem. From both sides, it was both Shipachov's and the Vegas Golden Knights' fault for what happened. I completely think that opinion. However, take a guy like him on a European ice surface. He's tremendous. He went and signed with St. Petersburg after he left Vegas, and he's had a fantastic season since he went there, or since he returned there. But that's because he's used to playing that style of hockey. Like, he'd played in the Russian system, he'd played in the European-style rinks his entire career. You move to the North American rink, and it's not that easy to play top-level hockey night in, night out. So, like, whilst I understand it's kind of like, oh, but you've got to make sure that the best of the best players can do well whatever surface they get. Like, NHL players can play really well on a bigger size rink. Yeah, that's because they're fast and they have more of an opportunity to speed up and down the ice.
Hey, we leveled up.
And they only do it for like 2 weeks in a year. Or 2 weeks every 4 years.
We got logos now.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna hop off to the next game.
Sure, no worries. No worries. Casey Middlestat, your thoughts?
Yeah.
Not much. Now, this is how much I know about Casey Middlestat. I can't remember what position he plays.
He's a defenseman, I think. Isn't he on the Sabres?
I can't remember. I honestly can't.
If I'm not mistaken.
He was
I should know this. I'm a Sabres fan.
He was a pretty high draft pick. I remember that much because he was drafted this last draft, wasn't he? Was it the draft before? I can't remember. Yeah. Bloody hell. He's a forward. I thought he was a forward. I was either going forward or goalie.
Oh, he's a forward? Oh, okay.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Yeah, so I don't really know much about him. I've heard his name come up several times in conversation, but I don't know a huge amount about him. He was drafted to Buffalo. Yeah, you're right. I mean... Okay,
that's what I thought. I was going to say, I should know this. I'm a Sabres fan, so I need to know this.
I mean, we'll find out. I mean, I don't know a huge amount about the prospect system. So, yeah, we'll see what happens, I guess, with him. Any other conversation?
I call left winger this game.
Sure. I call centre because I'm in charge. It's like the excuse that parents use all the time, or like older siblings use when your parents are away. It's like, oh, I'm doing this because I'm doing this because I'm older, and you have to do what I say. Which is, yeah, fair dues.
Right.
Oh, by the way, guys, if you are enjoying the stream and you haven't done so already, I haven't actually done one of these yet this stream. I'm quite impressed with myself. If you haven't done so already and you are enjoying the stream and you might want to see any other random crap that I make on this channel, feel free to subscribe. Would be really awesome, and it would help me out a lot. I don't think we've I don't think we've had a subscriber during the stream, have we? If we have, I've completely missed it, and I apologise. If we haven't, then I was right the first time, and that's great. Let's have a look.
I remember I had to sub to you twice. Because the first time, like, I subbed to you, it literally unsubbed me and I had to do it.
Oh shit, we have had a
First
sub.
time watching
Jaden
it.
Cox, thanks for the sub, by the way, buddy. He's probably not here anymore, but thanks. That's me being shit at my job. Anyway, do you think Liam Kirk will get NHL drafted? Now, yeah, most of you are probably, if you've heard about this, it's due to the article that Ken Campbell wrote for the Hockey News, which is, by the way, if you want to get like loads of inside information about the NHL that you don't get on like, or like more in depth isn't necessarily on the TV or NHL Network or NHL on the Fly or whatever the fuck they call it now. Hockey News, fantastic magazine. Like, I'm not, this isn't a sponsored promotion or anything like that, but I genuinely read every single one they put out now because they're really fucking interesting. So read them. Or if you're interested, that is. If you're not, then don't.
I might have to get some.
Yeah. They've been going.
I didn't even know they made them. We should. I was gonna say we should go for a 3-on-3 game because we only.
We would need to have somebody play D.
Oh, okay.
And I'm currently not really paying attention enough to focus on the high action stuff. I'm literally just like talking. These are the streams that I love. People give me topics about hockey and the league, and I can just talk about them, and you guys have to sit here and listen. No talk about what's going on in the game. You just have to listen to whatever shit comes out of my mouth. Unless you decide to leave, which is fair enough. That's probably why we have a viewer count under 10 at the moment. But some of you obviously are interested in what I have to say, otherwise you wouldn't be here. So let's carry on. Yeah, so Ken Campbell released an article on the Hockey News about British-born and British-trained ice hockey player Liam Kirk, who is currently 18 years old, I believe. He's in the Sheffield Steelers organisation, my second favourite team. My second favourite British team, I should say. And, yeah, he is draft eligible, and he has supposedly been put on the special lists that teams get when looking at who they could potentially draft. Essentially, from what I learned from that article, you have the main, like, central scouting list, you have the main lists of scouting, and then you have, like, a special list of guys that are either in leagues that don't get that much attention or are in positions where they're not getting much coverage or much exposure to the rest of the league, but they are technically draft eligible. So it's like, here you go, here's another list of players that when you've got your 6th round pick and you don't have anybody specific that you want to pick up that's played in juniors in Canada, here's some of the guys that you could pick up instead. And yeah, Liam Kirk is one of those guys. There is apparently some sort of draft buzz around him potentially going in the draft. We're not talking about going first overall or going in the top round. We're not talking about the top 5 rounds, I don't think. We're talking like potentially like 6th or 7th round pick here, if that. So yeah, like we're not talking about a brilliant pick. However, if he is drafted and he does make it to an NHL team, he would be the first British-born and British-trained player to make it to the NHL. We've had British players make the NHL before, but that was back in the days where we used to kind of own Canada. And we've also had, the most recent guy we've had is Tony Hand, who is a, like, UK hockey legend for the wonderful things that he's done for British hockey. He was drafted by the Edmonton Oilers, I think, with, like, the 270th pick, but he never played a game with the team. He just attended several training camps there. So he never actually suited up, so that's why he isn't the first British-born, British-trained player in the NHL. So if Liam Kirk could get drafted, that would be absolutely fantastic, and I'd root for him the entire way. Like, I don't know what team would pick him up. I don't know if a team will pick him up, but if they do, that would be pretty awesome. And if he makes it to at least a preseason game, that would be pretty impressive. Because, of course, we've got Brendan Pelini in the NHL, who's kind of making him a good name for himself with the Arizona Coyotes at the moment. And he was...
Oh, come on, bot.
He was originally... Him and his brother, who plays for the Nottingham Panthers of the UK, my favourite UK team, they were born in Guildford, and they started in the Guildford Flames system. So they've had some training from the NHL, but from Britain, but they also went and trained in Canada as well when they moved there. So yeah, it's a situation where we haven't had a player from Britain who has been trained all the way in Britain actually... Oh, why did I do that? Oh, it's good he didn't actually move that out. We haven't had a player like that that's actually made it to the NHL and actually played a proper game in the NHL, which would be awesome. It would definitely help raise the profile of hockey in this country, which I think we need, because the EASHL is very much like a select fan base at the moment. But it's interesting to see. I'd really like to see Liam Kirk get drafted. If he got drafted by the Rangers, I'd be quite happy. That'd be quite cool. I doubt he'll see an NHL game if he does get drafted. He might see a preseason game. But yeah, he's a pretty solid player. He's got some solid attributes, and I think with the right training, he could potentially be a bottom 6 player in the NHL. He has a nose for the net. He's 18 years old, and he's playing against men in the Elite Ice Hockey League. Quite a lot of those players are ex-NHL players. I mean, they've left the league because they're not good enough, obviously, but they are players that have seen either a short or long amount of time in the National Hockey League. So, yeah, like he has the ability to potentially make it. Just gotta keep plugging away, really, doesn't he? So there's that topic done for you, Josh LB. I know you wanted to have that spoken about for a little while. There you go. Any other topics, chat? Give me more stuff to talk about. I am more than happy to keep chatting about shit. I want that puck, please. Oh, good. Nice takeaway. Sorry, you were saying.
You want it? Here you go.
Oh! Just missed that wide. Oh, my God. What the hell happened there?
Hell no.
Ah, hell no.
That's a fight.
Oh. Good snipe attempt.
Block that shot.
Oh, good try, good try. Nice pass. Back to the D. Solid pass. Over to the other D. Really silly pass. Okay. What you doing with this? Oh. Oh, sorry, I'm in your way. I'm in your way. Oh, God. Okay, this is mine. Snipe! Ah, it didn't work. Head coaching jobs in jeopardy. Good question. So, the head coaches that are looking like they could be fired at any point. I want to throw Alain Vigneault on that list. I don't think he is the most on the line.
Yeah.
But I think that he's very much got a thin leash at the moment. I mean, I think, what was it, just before this season, he signed a contract extension. So that might be one of the reasons they're not, like, wanting to cut ties with him immediately, because they have just committed to a shit ton of money to keep him around. However, I do think he has quite a short leash, because his team has kind of sucked with the players that he's had. And that's mainly due to him. So, yeah. In terms of other teams, I don't think, is it Rick? It's not Rick Tocchet. Phil Housley for the Buffalo Sabres. I don't think he's in jeopardy. You would think because of the
yeah, I think he'd be alright.
Yeah, I think because of the record. Yeah,
yeah,
because of the record, you might argue. Yeah, well, I mean, surely they might be thinking about changing him. No, like they gave him the job this off season. They're gonna see that through. Like he's like a fan favorite in Buffalo. Like he spent a lot of his career in Buffalo.
Yeah, he definitely is.
So they're not gonna cut ties with him less than a season in, unless they'd gone like not got a win yet this season. Like that wouldn't have happened, because it's just not the right thing to do to a player that your fan base has a ton of respect for. And this is his first NHL coaching job, or head coaching job at least. So no, like it may be 2 or 3 years down the line and they're still the team they are at the moment. Yes, okay, fair enough, but not this year. Not this year at all. I'm trying to think of what other coaches. You could argue the Montreal Canadiens, who they've got Claude Julien at the moment, don't they? Maybe, but then again, he's in his first full year in charge of the Habs. And I mean, it's not as if he's got much to work with, thanks to Marc Bergevin. I'm not going to lie, Marc Bergevin is one of the worst GMs in the league. I'm not going to lie. Like,
I think he could possibly be fired. If we're going to talk about GMs, I think Bergevin would probably be up there.
Yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree.
You know,
and I think Marc Bergevin's last legacy, if he does get fired at the end of the season, which I wouldn't be surprised if he did, his lasting legacy, I think he'll finish off his GM career, his NHL 18 GM career mode, trading away Max Pacioretty. I think that will be the last thing that he does. If he leaves at the end of this season, that is.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say something crazy like he just traded Carey Price because he's just completely salty about leaving the team. He's like, you know what? Fuck you, Montreal.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Carey Price.
And then he ends up being the GM for the new team that he traded him to. I think Bergevin, yeah. Ken Holland also of the Detroit Red Wings could potentially go. I wouldn't be surprised if he went, because they're in a rebuild somewhat at the moment, but they kind of haven't got the memo that they're in a rebuild at the moment. Like, they lose their 25 straight playoff streak, which, I mean, fine, fair enough. But the problem was, with most of those end years, it was just, they just made the playoffs and then got eliminated in the first round. It wasn't as if they were going for Stanley Cup or bust every year. They were with that 25-year playoff streak, which is to be expected with a 25-year playoff streak, quarter of a century. You're not expecting to win the Stanley Cup or have the team to win the Stanley Cup every single year. So that's fine. Like, that reasoning's okay. However, I say that a lot, but I always like to add those in because it adds a little bit of drama to the situation. I think Ken Holland could go because he's not really making the right moves. He signs a guy like Mike Green to an awful contract, who is also another high bit of trade bait apparently, because he's had a bit of a resurgent season this year at the right time for the Detroit Red Wings, I must admit. He's also signed Trevor Daley to a pretty atrocious contract, I would argue, for a rebuilding team. He's just not really... I don't think he's quite willing to admit that his team needs to take a minute and, like, take a time to not reload, but rebuild. Like, they don't need to reload. That's what they've been doing for the last 5 years of their playoff streak. And how did that work out for them? No Stanley Cups in that time. So what they need to do is, they need to take a moment and do a Toronto Maple Leafs. Or a... what's another team doing? Buffalo Sabres to an extent. They need to just be like, yep, we're just going. Oh, shit. We're going to play lots of young guys, see who works in our lineup. We're going to trade away loads of veterans who have contracts that we don't need.
Right.
And we'll build through the draft and through our development system. Because the Detroit Red Wings, like, they've been known for having one of the best development systems in the entire league. Like, they have guys that they were basically the Pittsburgh Penguins AHL system before the Pittsburgh Penguins AHL system were as good as they are. They're basically like, oh, we'll call up this guy. Oh, wait, he's got like 50 points this season. Okay. Like, they would... And they've been solid through the draft as well. Like, they find diamonds in the rough. They let them develop for much longer than they potentially need to in Grand Rapids. And it works out for them because they have a ton of solid players to play for their lineup. Like, that's the reason they do it. That's the reason why they may play a high first-round pick for 2 years in the AHL longer than he needs to. If you get drafted to the Detroit Red Wings franchise, you have to be patient. Why can't the GM show that patience when building a contending roster? That's what I don't understand.
Right, exactly.
It just seems very strange that the fact that, like, they're willing to let players simmer in the AHL, like, not rushing them, which I think is the perfect plan. Like, don't rush prospects, because what happens when you rush prospects? You get failed prospects more often than you get successful prospects. Like, oh Jesus, but like I can understand teams wanting to rush out prospects as quickly as possible, because they want to be competitive. But if you take those couple of years to go, we don't need to do that, we can just take our time. Like the Toronto Maple Leafs did for like the last couple of seasons. Like, then you get the results that you want. You get the results which are a team that looks like they could have a good chance of winning the Stanley Cup. Oh, that's a beautiful pass.
Oh, there you go. You got this.
I don't. No, I don't.
Oh.
I can get the forehand backhand if I'm left-handed. Yeah, at least I tried. But I can get the forehand backhand if I'm left-handed with a skater, but not if I'm right-handed with a skater. Which is really infuriating, I must admit.
I didn't expect him to get me that fast. I was going to try. Man.
Benning 100% should be fired.
I swear to God, it's like they all start swarming me, man.
Benning should be fired. Oh wow. I mean, Jim Benning...
Our goalie should be fired.
Yeah.
Our defenseman should be
Yeah,
fired.
I should
Get
be
rid of these
fired.
bots. We need better bots.
Yeah.
I wasn't saying that.
Well, I am. Jim Benning... I mean, you could argue that Jim Benning and, what's his name? Ciccarelli, that they could be fired. But on the flip side, like, they've got a solid team of players around them. Like, their tactic, of course, is to build their team around Connor McDavid. Like, that's the logical solution, that's the smart solution, and that's the one they should go with. They've built a solid team around him. Like, other than that awful Lucic contract, they've built a pretty solid team around Connor McDavid. Like, what I don't understand is, like, I don't think their heads should roll just because their players haven't decided to turn up and play decent hockey for half a season. Like,
oh, I did not mean to pass. That was golf.
Oh, delayed penalty shit. Like, the players not playing well, some of the responsibility falls on the coach, but I've always been, and most people that have followed this channel for a while, know that I fall very much on the opinion that it falls down to the players. Like, you can't fire a coach because of the players' lack of ability to play the game, or lack of ability to stay hot.
Defenseman.
Like, I just don't...
He's freaking bad.
I just don't think it's a legit excuse to go, oh, our team's not playing very well, get rid of the coach. Like, if you're... You might say that I'm being a bit hypocritical. Oh, you're talking... Oh, sorry, you're talking about Vancouver's GM. My bad. I'll get to him in a minute then. If you're... Like... what was I talking about? If you're... coach... Like, you might argue that I'm a bit hypocritical with that previous statement, because I think Alain Vigneault could potentially be fired. That's because, like, he's been doing poor for an extended amount of time. Like, the team's just not played very well. I mean, I don't think he should be fired. I don't want him to be fired. I want the guy to keep his job and help us win a Stanley Cup, for God's sake. Like, that's all I want. But, on the flip side, if there's several years where this doesn't happen, get rid of him. And I know, like, the problem is with sports, it's a win-now mentality. If you're not winning immediately, people want to chop your bloody head off. Which, I mean, in some ways is, well, calm down, like, these things take time, but on the flip side, I get it. Like, you want to see results, especially if you think you've got a team that has the ability to get those results. But, what should I say? Benning is... I don't think Benning should be fired. I think he's made some very good moves recently. He's signed some veteran guys. He still thinks he's... The only problem is he still thinks he's a playoff bubble team. Which, I mean, I think Vancouver just needs to take a year or two. They're now starting to get the players, but I think if they take next season and the rest of this season to go, I don't think we're quite a playoff team yet. Let's just sort out our system and sort out what's going on. Then we can have the situation like... Bo Horvat's playing like Bo Horvat should play, or how they hoped he would play. Brock Besser has played fantastically this season, and if he carries on that kind of pace into future seasons, then he's going to stay in the league and be successful for a very long time. However, like, the Sedin twins, like, there's been a lot of talk of whether Henrik and Daniel Sedin should leave the Vancouver Canucks. Should they trade... Request a trade? Should they do this, that, or the other? I think the Sedin twins will retire as Vancouver Canucks. I believe their contracts are up at the end of this season, and I think they will take massive pay cuts in order to stay with the team. They have embraced their role as bottom 6 players now, or top 9 players, as opposed to top line players. I really feel for the Sedin twins because they want nothing more than to win a Stanley Cup in Vancouver with the Canucks. They don't want to be traded and win it with another team. They don't want to see the team tank every single year for the next 5 years. They want to see the team win, and they want to be part of the reason that the team won. And they are the sort of players that will be willing to take a pay cut in order for that to happen. They're not arrogant players. They know that they've had this brilliant opportunity, and they love the city of Vancouver. That's the most important thing. They love playing for that team, and I think they're still good enough to play bottom 6 minutes. Like, whatever anybody says, they're still good enough to produce points consistently, and they're good enough in their own end to play in a bottom 6/top 9 role for the Vancouver Canucks. the first line will end up including Bo Horvat and Brock Besser, provided they have decent chemistry. But, yeah, like, I do not see the Sedin twins being traded to a different team. I hope they're not. I want to see them retire in Vancouver, because that's what the city of Vancouver deserves. That's what the players deserve. If they want to stay there, I think that they deserve enough from their GM, Jim Benning, to stay there. I think they deserve the opportunity to stick around. Like, it's so sad when you see, like, it's great when you see players that spend their whole time with one team and then decide to move on to another one and win the cup. Like, take a guy like Ray Bourque, for example. Like, that's a great story. Like, he wanted to win the Stanley Cup. He got traded. He wins the Stanley Cup. So he does that thing that he wanted to. Great, that's awesome. But on the flip side, that's only if they want to go and play for a different team to win the Stanley Cup. The Sedin twins don't, by the looks of it. They want to stay in Vancouver. Like, so let them stay. They've done so much for the city and for the team that you owe them that much. The Rangers window is closed. Yeah, you could say that. I would argue that as long as Henrik Lundqvist is still a net for the New York Rangers and playing the way he is playing, that our window isn't completely closed. I don't know if Americans have this phrase or Canadians have this phrase, but the door is pulled to, which basically means it's just open, but not quite closed. I don't know why that's a British phrase, if that is a British phrase. It's definitely a British phrase. I don't know if that's a phrase anywhere else.
I would think so, because, yeah, I was going to say, I've never heard that before.
Yeah, but basically, whenever Lundqvist is in the net and he's playing like he's played this season, like, the door is pulled to. It's not open, it's pulled to. There's a slim chance. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm not expecting it to happen this year or next year. But for the love of God, New York Rangers, you have to get Henrik Lundqvist a Stanley Cup before the end of his career. Like, you just have to do it. One, because I need to see you win the Stanley Cup in my lifetime at least once, and judging your Stanley Cup track record, I might have to wait another 70 years. But, on the flip side, like...
No, that's me with the save.
Yeah, fair point. Oh, well, you might be waiting your entire life.
Be dead.
Yeah.
I might be dead by the time they win it.
Yeah. But, yeah, like, you've been to 2 Stanley Cup finals in my lifetime, and since I followed the league, 2 Stanley Cup finals? No, one Stanley Cup final and a couple of conference finals. Like, you've got the ability to do it with Henrik Lundqvist in your net. I mean, everybody says that defense makes championships, goaltending makes championships. Like, you could argue, oh yeah, but forwards make championships too. Well, yeah, well, you could argue that every single bloody position makes a championship team. Well, that's the whole point of having a fucking team. But if you want to single out one part of the team that you need in the playoffs more than anything, more than offense, more than defense, is goaltending. Michael, thank you very much for the sub, my friend, by the way. Appreciate it. Yeah, like, there is that phrase, defense wins championships. It's a fair point. Defense do win championships.
Right.
But goaltending wins championships a lot more. If you can have a guy that shuts the other team out for 3 straight games or for an entire series, like, you're going to take it. You will take that over a solid defensive core that can put up points on the board but allows 3 or 4 games, 3 or 4 goals a game. You might argue that that's not a good defensive core, but come playoff time, anything can happen. You can have a fantastic team in the regular season and then there's shit in the playoffs. That's what happens every year to 15 out of the 16 teams that make the playoffs. Like, that's what separates the wheat from the chaff. That's what separates the players that deserve to win with the players that do win. Is, can they come up clutch when they're needed? AKA the Pittsburgh Penguins the last 2 years. Haven't been the best team. Haven't been the best team in the league when they've won these 2 cups. But they've been the best when they've needed to be. And that's what matters. Grand Rapids Griffins. Tyler Bertuzzi, great story of a guy. Yes, Tyler Bertuzzi has taken a very long time in the AHL. He keeps getting called up and down at the moment, doesn't he, for the Detroit Red Wings? I saw that he scored his first goal recently, didn't he? I believe I saw that he scored, I don't think it was his debut, he scored, he got brought up and he scored a goal, which is awesome. Oh, 5 games with a perfect penalty kill. I mean, we got shut out, but that's nice. Vancouver needs to focus on developing depth. Yeah. The fact that they have big name prospects coming up doesn't change the fact they still... Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, you're right. They still need to rebuild. Like, I'm not doubting that fact whatsoever. Yeah, just need to take a year or two to go, right, what are we doing? They need to have a Toronto... I honestly think that the Toronto Maple Leafs, with Lou Lamoriello and Mike Babcock, have set the precedent for rebuilds in this era. In this 2017 to whenever it stops era. Like, I genuinely think that the way that they've managed to work it around... Sure, they haven't won a Stanley Cup, so you could argue that their rebuild hasn't exactly been entirely successful. You could argue that they're still in their rebuild, or whatever you want to say. However, of course I like to say that word, like, they have honestly set the precedent of how to do a rebuild. Like, you could argue that you've got to tank, and then you've got to take the first overall pick, who you've got to hope is a generational talent, which, I mean, this draft, not so much compared to other drafts. Don't get me wrong, Nico Hischier and Nolan Patrick are solid players. Nolan Patrick has been a fantastic player for my franchise mode series. But you've also got to remember that they're in comparison to Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid, and Jack Eichel, which is pretty high expectations, you know. And there's also this big talk like, oh, is Connor McDavid now the best player in the world? Has Sidney Crosby been usurped? No, he hasn't yet. He will be, but he hasn't yet. Like, I cannot understand how people think Connor McDavid is a better player than Sidney Crosby at this moment in time, in 2018 or in 2017. Right. Like, he was like, what, not 20 years old? He's the same age as me, so I think he was 20 years old last year, had a 100-point season. Yeah. Like, that's incredible. That's a sign of things to come.
But after one season, they're already like, oh, he's better than Crosby. No, he's not.
Exactly, like,
damn, give him a couple of years.
Sidney Crosby has led his team to back-to-back Stanley Cups. He's won, I think, 3 Stanley Cups in his career. He's won World Cup gold. He's basically won everything that he could possibly win, given his position and his stature within the league. Right. Like, and he's still a consistent player. It's not just like the silverware that he's picked up. Like, there aren't many players that have a hockey IQ or a hand-eye coordination that Sidney Crosby has. Like, I'm not a huge fan of Sidney Crosby as a player because I think he gets away with a lot of stuff. Right. Yeah. I'm not one of those like, oh, the rest didn't make that call, it's because they suck Crosby's wang. Like, I'm not like that at all. But what I am like is, like, he does get away with some stuff. He gets away with a couple of calls that maybe should have been called. Oh. But then again, all players do. Like, you're gonna see scenarios where refs make wrong calls all the time because refs are human beings and they make mistakes just like everybody else. The thing is, with the NHL rulebook, they do it less often. But with a guy like Sidney Crosby, he has proven that he can come up clutch when he needs to. He has proven that he can get the job done when the chips are down and his back is against the wall. So I cannot understand how he's not considered the best player in the league and in the world. Like, I don't think he's the best player in the league at the moment, but he's the best fucking player in the world. Like, you cannot argue differently. I think there will come a point where there will come a point where Connor McDavid takes that. Of course there will. Like, it's like there always comes out with the old, in with the new. Like, that's always the way it goes. Like, Wayne Gretzky wasn't the best player in the league for every single season he played in terms of points. He was usually relatively high up there, as I think Sidney Crosby will be as he ages. Like, he'll be a top 10 point scorer, I think, for the rest of his career. But I don't think he'll be number 1 every year. Like, he's not a Rocket Richard winner every year, is he? But, like, for people to say Connor McDavid is the best player in the world at this moment in time, or the best player in the NHL at this moment in time, it's just wrong. You've got an incredibly tiny sample size. Like, he may have been the best player in the NHL last season in terms of points, but like he carried his team to the playoffs. I'll give you that. But what happened in the playoffs? They lost. Like, the Pittsburgh Penguins had a shit ton of injuries on their defensive core during the playoffs. They had their starting goaltender out in the playoffs. Sidney Crosby led their team. Evgeny Malkin technically led their team in terms of points and all that. But, I honestly think Evgeny Malkin should have won the Conn Smythe Trophy. But Connor McDavid won the Conn Smythe Trophy. Not Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby won the Conn Smythe Trophy. Why? Because he led his team to a back-to-back Stanley Cup. Did Connor McDavid do that? No. Hockey is a team game. Like, you can't say, well, he had more points, he must be the better player. Well, no, it's what they do in terms of the entire league or the entire team. Like, don't get me wrong, I think Connor McDavid is an absolutely incredible player. I think he is a generational talent, and when I thoroughly enjoy watching him play. Like, he is one of those guys that every time you watch him, whether you're a fan of his team or not, you get excited when he picks up the puck. Because he's that kind of player. Because you never know what he's going to do, and you know that he's capable of anything. But he's not the best in the world at the moment, folks. He will be, but he's not right now. Case closed.
Exactly. I mean, whether you like, you know, Sidney Crosby or not, which, I mean, again, I'm not a big fan of him, but you got to admit, he is the best player in the world.
Yeah.
You know, it's not McDavid. Not yet. Not yet. Will be, but not yet.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You know, and what was it, NHL Network or something, or NHL.com, they were doing their top, like, I don't know, was it like 25 players or something last year?
Yeah.
And they had Connor McDavid over Sidney Crosby. I was like, are you kidding me, right?
Yeah.
Not yet. He only, I mean, 1 year that he had 100 points, fine. It's only his, you know, second year in the league at that time.
Yeah. And it's his first full season in the league as well.
Right.
Like, I think the problem is with sports is it's got a very short memory. It's got a very short memory on the day-to-day, but when, like, something comes back to bite him in the arse, it has a very long memory. It's got a very selective memory, sports, especially hockey. Like,
how the hell did I get hit out of that?
most of the Connor McDavid fans,
most
of the Connor McDavid fans that are saying that he's the best player in the world at the moment are younger people, I would assume. I don't have anything to back that statement up, but that's my assumption, you know? Oh, that poke check. Yeah, I would assume, based on what people say, that it's the younger generation that think Connor McDavid is the best player in the world. But then again, the younger generation didn't see Sidney Crosby as a rookie, you could argue. Like, Sidney Crosby's been in the league now for 10 years. Like, or more, slightly more so. I mean, 10 years ago, I was 12 years old. Like, I hadn't even heard of the National Hockey League 10 years ago. So, you know, like, it's an interesting situation. McDavid doesn't have as much help.
Actually, you know what's funny? I did.
Oh, well, yeah, fair
I think I started watching it. Yeah, I started watching hockey. I think it was in 2006 when the Carolina Hurricanes won the cup.
Because they've been great since then.
Yeah. Well, that was 12 years ago, so that means I was 8 at the time.
Yeah, because
I didn't know I was watching hockey that long.
I know. When you think back at it, like, I started watching when the Bruins won the cup and the whole Vancouver riots. I started watching it in 2011. So I've already been watching it. This will be my 7th year. Like, fuck. Already 7 years into it. Bloody hell.
I remember when I was trying to get into teams and I didn't, you know who to go into. So, you know, of course I liked the Sabres because they were a hometown team. But, you know, I was like watching the players and I absolutely fell in love with Ovechkin, and he's been my favorite player ever since.
Yeah, I mean,
I would love to see him get a cup.
Yeah,
so
Alexander Ovechkin. Alexander Ovechkin is like the best goal scorer of this generation. Or of his generation, because like there's a lot of people getting confused with the generations, and it's quite difficult to find those generations. The way that I like sum it up is we're currently in the next generation of hockey players. Basically the McDavid Matthews era is the way that I like to think about it. And then there's the Crosby Ovechkin era. Oh, what a snipe! I think that's the easiest way to think about it, because there's like 10, 12 years gap between Crosby and Ovechkin joining the league, and they're sort of in their mid-30s. Like, they're kind of passing the torch on to the next players. Yeah. So, yeah, like, of his generation, Ovechkin is the best goal scorer of his generation. Like, and I don't think you can dispute that at all. Like, I mean, I off the top of my head, I can't think of anybody else that would fit in that category. Patrick Kane, maybe.
Right.
But, like, even so, he's not Ovechkin.
Nikita Kucherov is pretty good at scoring goals.
Kucherov is pretty solid at scoring goals, but he's only, like, picked up recently.
Right.
Like, in terms of... in
Tarasenko,
he's picked up the last few years or so. Like, the only... The thing that I think defines somebody as a best somebody of something is consistency and longevity. Like, that's what defines a best person of their generation versus a best person in that year. Like, a player can have a fantastic 100-point season one year, but then spend the rest of the year, spend next season in the AHL. Like, that's not longevity.
Right,
That's a one-hit wonder, essentially. Stamkos, I would argue Stamkos. Yep, Stamkos is another good one. I think Stamkos would probably be the biggest rival, but I would still say Ovi. I think Stamkos is a very close second, but Ovi is definitely the best scorer.
He was the only one that ever really, for years, was given Ovi the competition.
Yeah.
But could never, beat him on the goal scoring.
Yeah.
And nobody can score the sheer amount of goals Ovi can.
Yeah. Top transition forwards, controlled exits and entries. Yeah, but that's one stat. That's Sam George. If you're playing devil's advocate, that's fair enough. Like, you're absolutely welcome to play devil's advocate. Or if you're just saying it because you genuinely think that Conor McDavid is the best player in the world. Like, I respect your opinion. I just disagree with it because I think one of the things that I think goes into into the title best player in the world is, like I said, with the best person of a generation, like career longevity and consistency. Like, Conor McDavid, he will be the best player in the world. He is very close to being the best player in the world, and I don't dispute that fact. But he's not quite there yet. Like, I can understand the argument for it, and there is some of that argument that I very much agree with. However, to me, if you say who's the best hockey player in the world at this moment in time, it would be Sidney Crosby. Who's the second best player? I'd probably go Conor McDavid. Like, he's a very close second. He's a very close runner-up, but he's not quite there yet.
That bot would do that. Yeah.
Malkin's not... Malkin's a solid player, but I've never really known him for his goal scoring or his assists. He's just been a solid all-round player. He's not been the best goal scorer out there, but he can score goals. Like, he's very much above average at both, which makes it so he's not the best at either. He's kind of like a solid jack of all trades, but a master of none. Whereas Ovi is a master of goal scoring, but not that good at the rest. More so in his younger years, anyway. Jack Eichel. Jack Eichel's a solid player. Jack Eichel's a solid player, but I mean, compared to McDavid, I mean, first of all, like, that's a really tough comparison. And he's playing on a Buffalo team. Like, Jesus Christ, Buffalo suck at the moment. Like, he is learning how to carry that team on his back, and they are waiting for him to be ready for the captaincy. Very much like Austin Matthews in Toronto. They are waiting for those two players to be ready to have the C on their jersey to give it to him. Like,
That's why I thought McDavid got it too early.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
They put, too much responsibility on him.
But then again, they did that with Sidney Crosby, and that's turned out well for them. So
that's true. That's true. Yeah.
When Malkin is at the top of his game, he's absolutely unstoppable. Well, no, I'm not saying that Malkin's a bad player. He's definitely, because Malkin didn't make the NHL 100, did he? I think he was the biggest, like, most fans got proper, like, pissed at the fact that he didn't make the NHL 100. And I completely understand that. Like, he's a solid player. Evgeny Malkin, he is a solid goal scorer. He's a solid assist man. But he's not the best at either. He's very high up. He's like top 5, top 10. But he's not the best at either of those categories. Like, I'm not saying he's a bad player at all. Oh, what's happened with my... Has the stream lagged? Oh, we back? Stream good? Looks like stream's good. Okay, good, fine. Stream resumed. Ah, we dropped a few frames. We're alright. We're alright there in the party chat?
Yeah.
Good, awesome. Sorry, you were going to say something to me.
We're good. Oh, yeah, I was going to ask you what's your thoughts on Connor Hellebuck.
Well, I mean,
like what he's done this year.
Winnipeg have finally got a defense in front of him, so that's nice. Like, that...
Right, but I mean, who would have saw this coming? You know, like, he wasn't that good to begin with, and then all of a sudden he just gets in and, like, I mean, I don't know how many games it was in the beginning, but they just would not lose with him.
But then again, like, as I just mentioned, I think that's due to the fact that they didn't have a good team in front of him. Like, I think he wasn't that good when he came in because he wasn't getting the help that he needed as a young player trying to break into the league. Like, I think I think the situation with Connor Hellebuck is he is finally living up to the potential that I think he's always had. I don't think this is a one-off season. Oh, I think I might be getting a penalty. Oh well, I think I lost that penalty. Sweet. I think that he's finally living up to that potential that he is the reason that he was drafted for by the Winnipeg Jets. And that's due to the fact that he's actually got a much better structured team and a playoff team in front of him. Like, this is the first time since the Winnipeg Jets moved back to Winnipeg that the team actually has that the place actually has a team that can be competitive. Yeah, I got completely like destroyed, I think. He's talented, not a franchise. No, I completely agree. I don't think Hellebuck is a franchise goaltender, but he's good enough.
No.
In terms of how he's done this season, worst goaltenders have won Stanley Cups. You know.
True. Yeah.
Oh, pardon me. This Pepsi.
Yeah, it was just the fact that I remember what was the beginning when they would put every time they put Steve Mason in, he would
Steve Mason has been a bloody sieve this year. He has been hilarious to watch. Like, if we're talking about like the worst free agency signing this year, he has got to be up there. He has got to be up there.
Yeah.
Considering Elliott and Mason essentially, well, no, they didn't, but they can't. No, that's a complete moot point. But considering like how Brian Elliott's done for Philadelphia, which is not amazing but much better. Brian Elliott is very much a guy like Connor Hellebuck. Like, if he doesn't have a solid team in front of him, his numbers might start to drop. Then again, you could argue that with any goaltender. Like, you're not going to get a goaltender that shuts out the opposing team for 82 games in a season. Like, no matter if you're a generational talent or not, that's just not going to happen. So, I think like Connor Hellebuck could win a Stanley Cup if Winnipeg do win a Stanley Cup because he's good enough. He's not the best. You're absolutely right. He's not a franchise goaltender, but he's good enough.
No, not right.
I think the same about several goaltenders in the league. I think some say Valashevsky's been absolutely solid. He has been absolutely solid. I agree. However, he's had a solid team in front of him.
Right.
You could argue the same about Jonathan Quick. He got his 2 cups because they had one of the best defenses in the league, and when they didn't, they missed the playoffs or he was injured. Like, Corey, yeah, you could say Valashevsky has been the most surprising goaltender of the year, but that's because I would say, just to play devil's advocate here, that's because the Tampa Bay Lightning as a team have done really well this year. Like, sure, it ends with Valashevsky, and he's definitely stolen games for them. But on the flip side, the defense have definitely helped him out tremendously, which is what you want from a defense. So that's good. He's definitely a player that there are better goaltenders in the league. There aren't a huge amount, maybe a handful at most. There are better goaltenders in the league. However, he's good enough to win a Stanley Cup. I think Tampa Bay could win the Cup this year. I think it's definitely a potential.
They are favorites from what I remember.
They are favourites. I could definitely see an LA Tampa Bay Stanley Cup final, judged on how well the seasons have gone so far.
Yeah.
That could well happen. If that happens, yeah, fine. I mean, I'm not expecting the New York Rangers to win, so whoever else wants to win, that's fine. Yeah, like,
Right.
I see what you mean. Oh, hey, Abraham, you're right, mate.
Louis went. I would love to see them.
Oh, yeah, the St. Louis Blues as well. Yeah, because they haven't actually won a cup yet. So, yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they've had a pretty good year, but they've kind of cooled off recently. So, that's the problem for them. Whereas, like, LA and Tampa Bay, they've kept going. I did pass that puck before he got to me. Thanks, lag. But we got a power play, so whatever.
Worked out.
Not a price. Murray the king. Yes. Having a good D helps in so many ways. Bad looks from opposition forwards to keep the fresh. Yeah, exactly. Like, also overplaying a goaltender is a massive problem in the league, and it's a massive problem for a team like the New York Rangers. If you want to take them as an example, like considering he is. Oh, that was a good try.
Ooh, good.
Considering the New York Rangers, they need Lundqvist so much to succeed. Like, that's why they play him for 60 games a season. But that doesn't help when it comes playoff time and you're in a game 7 and you need him to be in tip-top shape. Like, it just doesn't help. Oh, lost that puck, my bad. But yeah, we're getting towards the. Oh, well, it looks like hopefully if he doesn't score, then we're going to overtime in this game. Or we might score. Oh, we got time. We got time.
Like it.
Oh, we got time. Over to you, Green. Oh, good try.
Ooh.
Is it worth getting? I have 17. Don't know if it's worth it since I. Oh shit! I was looking at comments. My bad. And in snipe. Ah, damn it.
Like we're going to
overtime. Is this worth getting? The Expo. Hey, buddy. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Sorry, I'm starting to feel a bit of the stream fatigue now. It's been 2.5 hours. Yeah, NHL 18's alright.
Yeah.
It depends what you play. If you play Hut, I mean, well, if you want to keep relevant, then you probably would have got it already. If you want franchise mode, yeah, I'd get it. Franchise mode is good.
Yeah,
I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, definitely.
Franchise, like, the only mode that I'm happy to play outside of, like, content now is franchise mode. I don't actually do it, but, like, I always shoot up a New York Rangers mode and have a go with that every year, at least once. So, yeah,
yep.
like, if
I do that with the Sabres or the Capitals.
Yeah, exactly.
Or even the Rangers.
Good. Yeah, I think that if you're a franchise mode player, yeah, you play franchise mode and be a pro. For be a pro, no. Be a pro is basically completely unchanged. Really? The only difference that I found
that's different
is being able to request a trade. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Like that's
thing.
the only thing that's changed. Like if you're somebody that wants a deeper like NBA 2K story mode experience, like you're in the wrong place. Like don't get this game. If you're wanting a franchise mode that you can sink a shit ton of hours into and play like a 25 season mode and have fun and make your own team if you want, or play as an existing team, etc, etc, yes, go for it. Because they've also made the drafting better, they've made the player overall rankings better. It's just overall a better experience, really. The Expo, thanks for a subbing, by the way, buddy. LA is not a Stanley Cup team, I don't think, being on a hot streak. Yeah, you could argue that, but then again, they've got a goaltender, as I said earlier, going back to the whole point of a good goaltender can win you a championship. They've got a goaltender that's already won them 2 championships, so don't see why another one wouldn't be in the cards for him, if he's playing well, and the players in front of him play well enough to keep it relatively alright for him. Yeah, is that everything? Operation. Hey, buddy, welcome to the stream, buddy. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I think after this game, we'll play one more. We'll play one more game of the EASHL, and I think I'll call that a night after that. Because I would have been streaming for like 3 hours. So, you got your content. There's a pack opening going up in about half an hour. So, there you go. Okay, you can't say I don't spoil you guys with quality content. Right. Any other topics you want me to talk about, either in party chat or in the stream chat? I've really enjoyed just having the ability to rant about sports to people, because I always like I always like to think that I know what I'm talking about when it comes to the league, but then like people might not hear those perspectives from me, so it's like at least I can hopefully try and back it up with some actual words. Sorry, you were going to say.
I was going to say, besides watching hockey, what else do you like to watch during the Winter Olympics?
Oh, okay. So during the Winter Olympics,
is it only hockey?
I like to watch. Do you know what? One thing that I find myself watching, especially last Winter Olympics. I mean, it's not very often because it comes around every 4 years. But the one thing that I did find myself watching last year was the curling. I found that surprisingly interesting.
Really?
Like.
Really?
Like, on the surface of it, it's boring as fuck. But, like, when you actually get into it, like, when you actually start, like, watching it and being like, oh, so what's... When you start understanding what's going on, it's kind of like, oh, it's quite interesting. It's basically like a turn-based strategy game. I think that's why I like it. It's basically like playing Command and Conquer on a sheet of ice. Except you don't have the, like, different types of units. You don't have to build a base. Like... It's really weird. I don't know if that's the best description for it, but it's the one that seems to make the most sense to me and why I enjoy it. Like, it's actually really interesting. Yeah. I've watched a bit of the snowboarding last year. That was relatively interesting.
Oh yeah, I love
yeah, snowboarding's good.
And the skiing.
Skiing's good. Yeah, definitely like the downhill stuff is good. I don't watch many of the like endurance events or like the long time ones. Oh, that's a decent snipe. I don't really watch a huge amount of like the ones that take a long time. Kind of like the Olympics with the marathon. Like, I just don't watch that shit because I have a really like short attention span for things like that, and it's just not interesting. Like, if I want to watch people running, that's what I'll watch. But I mean, I don't even run in real life. Why would I want to watch people doing it? You know, like.
Right.
Most exercise I do is like walking up the hill after uni. Like, I ain't doing exercise. Fuck that. I like food too much. I'd rather stay fat and eat food than be skinny and enjoy running. Like, I feel like I've got my priorities sorted out here. But yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Curling, a lot of fun. I like curling. Never tried it myself. Probably have no intention of trying it myself, but it's an interesting one. Oh, the bobsledding as well. That's pretty fun. Gotta love a bit of the bobsledding.
Bobsledding, yeah.
Gotta have the Jamaican bobsledding team there just to rep it. Love it. I think
those are my 3 favorites: snowboarding, skiing, and bobsledding.
Yes.
Absolutely love it.
I think they are probably the main ones that I watch. Chat.
Yeah.
Which ones do you watch? Let me know. Let me know. I'd love to hear what you guys like to watch during the Winter Olympics. Now, I would be interested. I've just realised this. I would be really interested if I wouldn't get, like, completely fucked over in terms of, like, channel taken down or copyright problems. I'd love to stream some of the Winter Olympics on my channel and just, like, have a chat where we all watch it. That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. I'd definitely watch that.
Just, like, stick the curling on and be like, so this thing's happening. I don't quite understand what it is, but it's happening. And this one's hit this one out the way. Oh, no. Or like the snowboarding and stuff. That would be cool. I would very much enjoy doing that. Chat, let me know if you'd enjoy watching that as well, because then I might actually look into it. If I know people actually want to watch it, then I'll look into it. Otherwise, it's kind of like, I've got this idea, and I want to do it, and then nobody turns up, and then I hate my life. Which is basically the first year of YouTube. Like, I'm not one to give advice for YouTube and shit, because I've only got a channel with like 1,000 subs, or like almost 1,500 subs, so I'm not a very big channel in terms of things.
Damn.
However, it is kind of like, oh, that's a big question. Has anybody heard about this new Twitch initiative and the new YouTube algorithm to do with partner program? So, no. I will explain.
Something about you need for?
Yes, so, for the, so essentially, if you want to become a partner on YouTube, for anybody setting up a channel or who has a channel and wants it to grow, bit of YouTube 101 here. I'd like to get involved in it, why not? So, yeah, basically, partner program, you sign up to it, you have to hit a certain criteria, which basically means that you can monetize your videos and then get paid if they get watched. I am part of the YouTube partner program, it's how I earn money on these videos, and I am quite happy to say that over the last year, I made a relatively decent amount of money through YouTube, so it's going well for me at the moment. Not really relevant to the topic, but I thought I'd say it nonetheless, just flashing my money at your face, like making it rain. YouTube have now changed their parameters for the partner program. In order to sign up to this program, you have to have 4,000 hours of watch time within the last, I think it's the last few months or the last month, and you have to have 1,000 subscribers on the channel. Though they have basically sent out an email earlier this week to channels that haven't hit that target to go, this is your 30-day notice. If you don't hit the requirements by that time, then your channel will no longer be part of the partner program and you will no longer be able to monetize your videos. Which, for me, not a problem whatsoever. Got almost 1,500 subscribers. I definitely earn more than 4,000 watch hours a month, which is brilliant. I get like fucking like months worth of views. Now I'm actually like looking at my analytics sometimes is just astounding, the amount of watch time I get sometimes. Yeah, so this is mainly been a problem for smaller channels with under 1,000 subscribers who monetize their videos, who was me for basically most of last year, I would add. And basically, if they don't hit the target, they're not going to be making it, they're not going to be making any money out of their videos anymore, which is a real shame for smaller content creators on this channel. I completely understand the frustration that people have with this, and I empathise with them so much because, like I said, like, until about 6 months ago... Oh, that's a nice snipe.
Ooh, nice.
Pardon me. Until about 6 months ago, that was basically my channel. Like, and I hit 100 subscribers about this time last year. Like, that kind of shows you how big the channel has grown in terms of attention and stuff like that over the last year. Like, last year was fucking solid. Made a video about it and everything. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. So yeah, we have the problem that smaller content creators are now in a position that if they don't hit these milestones, then they're going to be taken out of the partner program, which many creators are very much like, well, they're moving the goalposts again. Like, some people may have just hit the criteria now to get in the previous situation. Now we've got a problem that they're changing the goalposts and making it so that we need different parameters that are even more difficult to get this time. Oh, let's go, let's go, let's go. I'll continue the conversation. Let's get this 1T. 1T!
Go, go, go.
Oh, damn it!
Oh.
I knew I wouldn't be able to tuck it, so I wanted to try and get that 1T going. The thing is, the reason why they don't want these videos monetized by these smaller channels is a direct result of the like beheading videos that were a big thing on YouTube recently. Basically, those videos that would picture, like, for example, ISIS beheadings or things like that, they were monetized on YouTube. Even though they, like, broke the terms of service, people were earning money on those videos before they were taken down. So, and they were usually by channels that had smaller numbers. They had, like, less than 1,000 subscribers, less than a certain amount of watch hours per month. So, that's why they've done that. And in response to that, whether it was in response to that or they'd been building it up for a while and been waiting for the right moment to release it, which they did, Twitch announced that you can basically make videos and upload them on Twitch now. So they've basically trying to take the YouTube upload a video to the internet, have people watch it whenever they want aspect, as well as the live streaming platform that they have. Now, I must admit, I used to use Twitch. I used to live stream on Twitch quite a lot. I used to have 1,500 followers on Twitch, I believe. But I stopped using it because I found I was getting more viewers and more traction and more comments and more attention on this channel than I was on my Twitch channel. So I've stopped using my Twitch channel. I haven't used it in months, which is fine. I'm not really that fussed about it. And lots of people have very much been like, oh, RIP YouTube, like YouTube is dead now. It's not. Like, this isn't going to kill YouTube, this new thing. It's just going to give smaller content creators a chance to earn more money. But I completely understand why YouTube have made this move. They don't want really bad videos that break the terms of service that they can't get to quick enough making money. Because then that sets a bad precedent. Like, that's one of the reasons why the one wave of the adpocalypse happened. For those of you who don't know, adpocalypse was where loads of advertisers pulled out of putting their ads on monetized videos, meaning that loads of people, including myself, were seeing videos demonetized for no reason, or for a ridiculous reason, or because the advertisers were pulling out. However, there was a go-around where you could basically request a review, and while it says, oh, but you need to have 1,000 views on this before you can request it, if you request it with less than 1,000 views, like most of my videos get, you get the immediate, like, that they come back a day later and it's sorted out. So that's not a problem. But there was a point where every single video I put up every single day was being demonetized the day later. Which isn't good, like, especially for me, where this is just, like, YouTube is a bit of extra cash for me, essentially. Like, it's not my job. I'd love it to be, and if it turns out that way, then fuck yeah, more power to me. But I'm not expecting it to. I'm not making plans on the summary that this is going to earn me bucks aplenty. Oh, off the crossbar. But
damn, those toys to crossbar.
But I think very much like for a content creator like me, this has no effect whatsoever. Oh, let's go. Oh, come on.
Oh, that was it. Good try.
For a content creator like me, these new rules make absolutely no difference, and it's just carrying on life as normal. Lots of people saying, oh, YouTube's dead, Twitch is going to take it over. I completely disagree with that. I think it will draw more smaller content creators to Twitch, which is fine. I think it will steer away a lot of smaller content creators to YouTube, which, I mean, suck. Oh, what? Which sucks, but, I mean, if that means that they don't have beheading videos on their channel, then fair dues. But I think in terms of the whole situation in general, I've kind of digressed like 4 different times with this thread, but basically loads of smaller creators are being screwed over. Oh Jesus. Well, I'm playing one more, so if you're sticking around, then we'll get you that 8 XP.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so essentially the video, the new situation that they've got themselves in with this whole channel parameters, like I don't fully endorse it, but I don't like think it's a shit idea. Like I can see why they've made this move, because they don't want beheading videos, and I completely understand that. Like as a content creator in my position, I would rather they do this. This might be like, oh, but you're thinking about yourself. Well, yeah, of course, because it's my channel and this is how I earn extra money. Like, I think it would be better. It's better for them to do this, because then it means that less advertisers pull out of the place, and that means that my videos aren't being randomly demonetized, and the majority of people's videos on the site don't get demonetized for no random reason, you know? Like, so to cut a very, very long story, a whole, like, double overtime story short. Sure thing, Liquidy, we'll wait for your 1 minute, no worries. To cut a long story short, if you're a smaller creator that's trying to become the next big YouTube star, don't expect to get paid until you hit 1,000 subscribers, which, in an example like mine, can take about a year or a year and a half. Like, it's not a short amount of time. Right. I mean, unless you get, like, super lucky and viral, in which case, more power to you. As long as you're not like a Logan Paul, then touche. Like, have fun. Congratulations. But if you're just if you're just a bog standard YouTube channel like mine, who makes videos for the fun of it, you don't really know anybody that's big in the medium that you're looking at, and you're just some random geezer trying to make it or have fun doing it, whatever. Right. Then do it. Yeah, let's play some threes. Why not? Then Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a tough slog. It's a tough slog.
Yeah, because I actually want to start doing YouTube myself. I even got an Elgato. I ended up losing the wires to it, but like my first mistake was because I tried using it on a laptop and it got all laggy.
Yeah,
and shit,
yeah.
And I'm like, okay, no. So I'm trying to use it on this PC, but I don't know if it'll work because like I know nothing like about technology.
I will say though,
whatsoever.
I will say, first of all, smart move getting an Elgato. Like, you've probably picked the best one you could do.
I knew that.
I have been meaning to get one of them for like the last year. I just haven't had the money or like the disposable.
You don't have one?
No, I use the Roxio Game Capture HD Pro. It was cheap when I got it because it was on sale on Amazon.
Oh, okay.
It does the job, but when you try and be like, oh, I'd like to mix things up a little bit, it's really shit. Because it's essentially like designed for the last generation of consoles. Like, to use with the 360 and the PS3, but I'm using it for an Xbox One. And I use, like, all the videos that I edit, I use the editing software that came with it, and it's shit. And I hate it, and I really want to get a new editing software. Because it's really not good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the problem with me is, like, I have no idea what type of PC to get for it, because, like I said, I have, like, no idea. I am not technologically advanced whatsoever.
What I would say, though, is we're in a good position because there's so many content creators out there that there's such a... Like, it's so much easier to access that information. Like, with this stream and stuff, I had no idea how to set it up. Like, I've got a green screen on at the moment, so I blend in with the game. Like, I had no idea how to set that up. All I had to do, quick Google search, found the answer. Like, it's really not that difficult when you have Google at your fingertips. Like, you will need to get... I would assume, I mean, don't take my word for it, because I don't want you going, oh, right, he said this, so I'll spend, like, hundreds of dollars on a special PC with lava cooling and a lava lamp inside and like, a million different jingles to it. Like, it's very much... you need, like, a proper desktop PC. The one that I have has a... This might mean absolutely nothing to you, but just to give you a sense of... Oh, that's close. Just to give you a sense of, like, what I'm using. It has a NVIDIA graphics card, which is a GT... what is it? Is it... Oh, shit, I've forgotten now. I want to say 950 or 960. I'm not entirely sure.
What the hell? That is not at all right.
So yeah, I've got a GeForce graphics card, and I've got a quad-core processor that does 3 gigahertz in each processor, which might mean absolutely nothing to you. In which case, just takes a quick Google search to understand that stuff. It's very basic stuff.
No, I heard about all the stuff that you need for it. I just don't know what type of PC to get, but also trying to not like completely empty out my bank account.
Yeah, which is a problem. I've got to be honest. I bought my PC with my university student loans. Got to be completely transparent about that. I use it for uni stuff. I'm not gonna lie, but I use it more for this channel than I do uni stuff. Let's hope the government doesn't hear that on the other end. Yeah. So what I would recommend, though, is, like, I bought my PC on Amazon for a couple of £100. Oh, shit, I got a penalty shot. For, like...
the penalty shot? Oh,
for, like...
well, don't believe in me. I'm gonna fuck this up.
Go on, son. It's, like, I think I bought it for, like, 350 pounds or something like that. And,
how much?
like, 350 pounds, which would be, like, $450 maybe. Which was okay. However, if you're wanting it for a specific thing, what I would suggest is you go to a place that, like, knows how to make PCs. It's much better, I have found, to build a PC. It might be slightly more expensive, but you can get exactly what you want. So, like, if it's like, I want something that's good at editing videos and recording videos, I want to do this, that, and that, but I'd also like it to play relatively decent games, because I want to play releases on Steam that came out last year, not 3 years ago. Then you can get it. You can get a PC that's catered towards that. Whereas with like a pre-built PC, you kind of get what you're given. This is kind of advice not just for Reaper, but also for people in the chat. If you were wondering about what you need to do to set up a channel, like having the right stuff to set up a YouTube channel isn't cheap. Isn't cheap. Not cheap at all.
Mic, what kind of mic should I get? Like
the mic I would recommend.
All different types of mics.
Well, I mean, if you're wanting the one that I use, it's a Blue Yeti. And I have got to admit, I absolutely love this microphone. I absolutely love it. It's like £100 max. I was quite lucky because the webcam that I've got, which is a Logitech, what is it called? A Logitech. I have the boxes somewhere. Where is it? Logitech. Logitech C920. It's kind of like the. Oh shit! I'm offside. Sorry.
Okay.
It's kind of like the standard for people that want to use webcams.
Here we go.
Like I'm not obviously like if you're just doing videos and you don't want webcam, then touche. Like you don't need it. But because I used to do streams and stuff, and I used to get donations via streams. Like I bought my microphone and my webcam through the donations that I got. So I was very lucky in that respect. Like not everybody has that luxury. So yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, it's very much like if you want a microphone that, like my first videos, and by the way, like this is a disclaimer, nobody go and watch my original videos. I have contemplated about putting them on private several times. They are awful. They follow a similar sort of trend of like the videos now, but the ones now are just better quality and more interesting to watch. Like, I just used, like, a 20 quid microphone I got off Amazon for like, initial stuff.
Ooh, penalty.
But, like, if you want... If you're willing to spend a little bit more money, but get something you can use long-term...
You got it, man.
The Blue Yeti is the one you want.
You got this, bro.
Or the best... It's like the best USB mic you can get.
Did you poke check that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good try, though.
So, to anybody wanting to start a channel like Soviet Reaper, if you want a solid microphone that will do a brilliant job, and it's got loads of different settings so you can change the type of audio that comes out. You can change it so if you talk in the left ear, then it comes more out the left ear. It's not a hugely fantastic binaural microphone, but it has elements of that. It's got like stuff that's better for recording music, for podcasts, for outside music, for sound effects, for all that stuff. Like, there's loads of different settings for it. There's a mute button on it, which is fucking helpful, I must admit. Oh wow. If you're wanting to start your own channel and you want a microphone that's decent quality and will serve you well for a long time, a Blue Yeti microphone is probably the best USB option. You can get other options that have different connectors, but if you want one that just plugs into your computer and does exactly what you want it to from the minute you pick it up, then yeah. I've never used a mic that's so easy. It's pretty fucking heavy as well, so it's got its own stand, so you can put it on a table or whatever.
Oh, here we go.
Right, I'm getting it to you, getting it to you. Oh, damn it.
Good try, good try.
Yeah, like, I use the stand that it comes with. You can attach it to, like, a extendable arm stand or whatever. Like, all that stuff.
That's a penalty, yeah.
Chat, you've gone very quiet on me at the moment. Anything else left to say, or are you just listening to the conversation?
Hey, man.
How can we add you on NHL 18? You can add my gamer tag if you're on Xbox One. It's CheesyMan3. You can see it in the bottom left of the screen right now.
Done the original shot.
CHWZYMAN3. I do get messages from several of my subscribers and all that. Like, I don't mind you messaging me. That's one thing I'm going to bring up. I don't think anybody that actually messages me is in the stream right now, which I have no problem with, like, subs and stuff messaging me on Xbox. I quite enjoy that fact. However, if it says that I'm watching something like YouTube or Netflix, maybe don't, because I'm in the middle of something and I don't want to have to pause it to read your message. Being completely honest. Oh.
Okay, cool.
I understand.
Oh, nice.
Hey. Oh, what? I don't even know what happened. What? No, that's a goal.
If I'm on the main menus, if I'm playing NHL, go for it. tell me,
I don't see how he kicked
tell
that
me
in.
the players that you pulled in your latest pack. Like, I am up for that. Oh, it counted. Sweet.
Okay, cool.
Oh, I got it. Oh,
Sweet. Yeah, I gotta
thanks
say,
for the goal, gents.
I don't see how it counted.
But
You're welcome.
yeah, just a bit of advice if you're a fan of a channel that's either small or big or whatever, and you know that you might get a response. Just pick the right time. Pick the right time. Because, like, as I say, I have no problem chatting to you guys. I thoroughly enjoy the fact that I can, like, it's really quite nice that people are like, yeah, okay, I'll send them a message. Hey, how's it going? Oh, do you want to play NHL? Nah, I'm alright, thanks. Maybe next time. Oh, okay. Oh, I really enjoyed your stream. Oh, I watched your latest video. That was great. I really enjoyed that. Like, I love that stuff. That's awesome. Like, talk to me. That's fine. But
Yeah.
if
Just no creepy messages like
yeah,
pushing me down. Like that's
yeah, or it's just like, I pulled this card in this pack. Oh, isn't that great? I mean, yeah, it is great. But if I'm watching Black Mirror, I don't want to hear about it. you know, like save it till afterwards. Speaking of which, started watching Black Mirror last night. Very good. I've watched the first 4 episodes of, like, I've started from the beginning. If you haven't watched it and you're interested in, like, TV shows that make you think, it's fucking incredible. Like, one of the monologues that happens in that, because I mean, I don't like to use the phrase, but I'm technically an aspiring actor myself, doing an acting degree, and like acting is something that I've kind of always done and potentially might go into or whatever. Like, so it's kind of a field that I take a lot of interest in. There's a monologue in that from one of the early episodes that is one of the best things I've watched on TV in a very long time.
I'm gonna give it to you.
Send it on net. There you go. Wish I had Xbox so I could challenge her. That's a shame. Yes, you've invested $0 in your team. Good. That's what I like to hear. I mean, this game more than ever in the Hut Market, you can have a solid team without spending a single dollar or a single cent or a single pound or a single pence. I am at the point where my ultimate team has a 99 overall offense rating, and I have not spent a single penny in the game. Oh,
damn! What a shot! Are they all number 97? That's funny because that's the year I was born in.
No, the center isn't. So it's 10 o'clock. My pack opening video's gone up. You'll have to watch that by the end of this thing. Oh, good try there. Good try. Oh. Fuck off! Leave me alone! Snipe! Oh! I called it and everything.
Damn, I thought that was gonna work too.
I thought it was just silly enough that it could work. It's just crazy enough that it might work.
It's just crazy. Never know.
Right, so halfway through the period, we've got roughly 10 minutes left. Oh, in the chat and in the party chat, I want your opinion on something. Cereal, is it acceptable to eat it in the evening?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes.
You are right.
110%. Yeah.
Cereal, and it tastes better in the evening than it does in the morning.
So wrong, it's right.
Yeah.
Damn it! I've found my true people here. Like, they talk about hockey, they love cereal in the evening. Like, this is the best.
Right?
I love a good bowl of cereal or watching
type,
Netflix at the end of a long day.
What kind of cereal you like?
Oh, mainly chocolatey cereal. You've got to have something with a bit of sugar in it.
Oh yeah.
I eat Zuccarellos.
Zuccarellos. Nice. I like that.
Oh damn! I was trying to pass it to you.
Ugh!
Yeah, my favorite though is Reese's Puffs.
Nice.
I love them.
Oh, tried to get that to you as well.
Cookie Crisp.
Yes, Cookie Crisp is good.
Even Honey Nut Cheerios.
Nice.
Love Honey Nut Cheerios too.
I don't know if you guys have it across the pond, but it's called Crave. Oh yeah, I love that.
Nah, I've never heard
it's
of
like
it,
it's like
Chocolate burrito.
Basically, yeah. It's like mini little cereal pieces with like chocolate inside. They damn nice. I love them. Oh, get it to me. Oh, okay, maybe not. Hey, Chris H, are you British? I think so. Last time I checked, I was. Oh, that might be a penalty. That might be a penalty.
Like, I hope so.
No, it wasn't a penalty. Huzzah. Come on, it's the last minute. We need to tie this game up. Come on, boys. We're so close.
Well.
Oh, and one last question before the end of the game. This applies to the chat as well. Favorite flavor of Pringles? Go.
Sour cream.
Yeah, those are good. Yeah.
Oh.
I like those and cheddar and sour cream. I like salt and vinegar too.
Oh, I got tripped.
Oh, robbed.
Snipe it. Snipe it now. Snipe it. I want the pack. Give it here. I'm sorry, guys, but sour cream is the incorrect answer. I'm sorry. Sour cream Pringles, they're good.
Salt and vinegar.
No, that's even worse. No, get them out of my sight.
Cheddar and sour
No,
cream.
the best flavour of Pringles, and of course this depends.
Cheese pizza.
This depends if you get them across the pond. Texas barbecue sauce.
What? Never had.
Really?
I don't even know if they make them here.
Ah.
Yeah, I don't even know. I've never.
Well, that might be why. Because you need to get some. They are fucking incredible.
New logo. Oh, okay. So now we could use NHL logo.
Oh, sweet. I mean, we're not going to, but sweet.
I can say if we did, you might as well use the New York Rangers.
Or we need to make the London Lions logo. Damn right.
Oh yeah, totally.
That's
yeah.
spiffy.
Oh, right, sweet. Okay, so we have 3 points. We're only 5 points away from staying in the division. So that's good. Not too bad. I got a goal. Wait.
And before that, I think it was like the last game we actually unlocked. It was at the ECHL logo.
Yeah. Apparently I didn't get a goal this game, even though I did. Well, that's interesting.
I can say, yeah, you did. Because I remember.
Yeah.
Well, then who got the goal?
Well, it was credited to me, yeah. But apparently not.
Sniped it from the left hash.
See, this is just ice tilt again. Fucking ice tilt. Won't even give me the goals that I
I
score.
remember I shot it. You tipped
Yep.
it, and they were saying that you kicked it in or whatever, but then they counted
Indeed. Right,
That
so
was
yeah, thanks for coming out, guys. I appreciate the help in playing. We're 10-13-1 so far with this team. Not too bad, I would say. So I will catch you guys in the next EASHL stream.
Not bad for our first
Yeah.
year.
Good game.
First year, not
All right,
bad.
see you later, guys.
Yeah, good game. GG's.
Pringles
Peace
out.
out.
Right, so on that note, I am going to end this stream here, ladies and gentlemen. We've been streaming for about 3 hours, including the crash of the old, what's it called? The old computer there. So yeah, I would just like to say a massive thank you for allowing me to sit here and just babble on about loads of different NHL topics and EAHL and all those different topics for the last 2.5 hours. So, and some of you guys seem to enjoy it. So if you haven't done so already, please do feel free to subscribe to the channel. I really would appreciate it. It does help me out a lot. But I'm going to end this stream here. I'm not sure if I'm going to stream at any other point this weekend. I might do tomorrow, maybe. I'm not sure. I'll figure it out. A pack opening video for my channel has just gone up about 5 minutes ago. So once this ends, you can go and check that out. It's a pretty decent pack opening, I will admit. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. Please feel free to like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the stream today and stopping by and listening to my rambling. But for now, goodbye. Or should I say, goodbye? I sound so much